Miami is, at first light, a series of islands, as far apart in spirit as they are close in blocks. Most Notre Dame and Alabama fans in town for the National Championship Game woke up today in the most famous of those islands, South Beach, stepping into a dreamscape of pastel deco and tireless house music, an unce that accompanies even breakfast, tight bodies and palm trees, and $300,000 cars, Crockett and Tubbs. This is only one face of Miami. Miami also looks like this. Miami is men, women, and children from nearly every country on earth. Rich and poor, Democrat and Republican, straight and gay. People come here searching for safe harbor or acceptance, for a brighter future or freedom from their past. It might seem foreign, exotic, but really it's the most American of cities, a place built by immigrants. Their energy fuels the art, the fashion, the dominoes on Calle Ocho, the neon on Ocean Drive, and the football stadium north of town. That's what we're here for, a football game, an important one, between an Alabama team that has returned itself to past glory and a Notre Dame team looking to do the same thing. With the stadium close to exactly nothing, it's easy to think that this game has nothing to do with all those other islands of Miami. And yet there's something perfect about these two teams facing each other here in this strange archipelago.
And Beretta intercepted by Teague. George Teague to the end zone. Touchdown.
This is where Notre Dame should play Alabama. Miami, after all, is a place where people come to find something they've lost, where they cling tight to something they've found.
You are looking live at the Sun Life Stadium in Miami Gardens, Florida, for the 2013 Discover BCS National Championship. Here tonight, two of the more renowned schools in the history of college football, Notre Dame and Alabama, will compete for a national championship. For Alabama, a win would put a period on their latest dynasty. For Notre Dame, a win would reclaim their place at the summit. Good evening, everybody, and welcome. With Kirk Herbstreit, I'm Brent Musburger. Thanks for joining us. And Herbie, what a scene we've got around this stadium here tonight.
We've been coming to these national championships for a long time, and especially these BCS championships. I've never seen it like this. Just trying to get to the stadium alone was a zoo. You get inside, the energy down on the field in the pregame show, I've never seen anything like it. It's Notre Dame and it's Alabama, and it's game on.
Yeah, and when I mentioned Alabama, I used the D word, dynasty.
And you should. If Alabama is able to go on tonight and able to win this game, that's 3 championships in 4 years, which is just unprecedented right now in college football. If you throw in Nick Saban, what he did at LSU in 2003, he's really won 4 national championships tonight in 8 years of college coaching. Remarkable. I don't think we've seen anything like it.
And Herbie, if you're like me, about the only way we could describe Notre Dame being here is magical mystery tour.
I don't think anybody outside of that locker room, and maybe the family of the players, thought that Notre Dame had a shot to get to Miami and have a shot to secure a national championship, their first since 1988. We'll see if they can secure that tonight.
We've got cameras all over the world. You can watch this live in the Vatican or in Dublin, Ireland tonight. And oh yes, up at the Grotto in South Bend, a final prayer. We'll keep an eye on activities not only in South Bend, but Tuscaloosa. Interest in this one extends far and wide, including, would you believe it, outer space.
Go Irish.
The TaxSlayer.com BCS pregame show is brought to you by TaxSlayer.com. File your federal return for only $9.95 with TaxSlayer.com. The TaxSlayer.com BCS pregame show is brought to you by Taco Bell. Sometimes you've got to live Mott's.
Fans enjoying themselves here at the Taco Bell Fan Fest, trying to fill the brand new Taco 12-pack box. Meanwhile, the DirecTV mobile studio rolling into Miami. Through the course of the year, the bus has provided you with more than 30 hours of interviews with coaches and players across college football. Urban Meyer rejoined us. You've won this twice. All the variables and the uncontrollables for a coach. What one key decides this tonight, Urban?
Can the Notre Dame corners hold up? They're going to load the box and stop Alabama's run game. If they can hold up, Notre Dame has a chance.
Coach, I think the key is going to be Everett Dose's play. His ability to identify pressure, make great decisions with the ball in his hand, I think is going to be the #1 key in tonight's game.
History says experience is no edge. Everybody has a feeling about Notre Dame. Nobody's neutral about the Irish, ambivalent about Alabama. Who wins tonight?
Close game, slow-scoring game, Notre Dame by field goal.
Wow. I got Alabama. I think too physical for too long. They will wear Notre Dame out. I got Alabama.
Time for Mr. Corso. There will be no mystery and no subtlety in his presentation as the Leprechaun and friends take the stage.
Pick me up.
The TaxSlayer.com BCS pregame show is brought to you by TaxSlayer.com. File your federal return for only $9.95 with TaxSlayer.com. You're watching the TaxSlayer.com BCS pregame show.
Alabama and Notre Dame come together on the football field for the first time in a generation. The unique one-game season to decide the championship. It's been called Alabama Dynasty versus Notre Dame Destiny. Only one team gets to walk out of here with a crystal ball. Will it be the first for the Irish in the lifetime of their current players, or the third in 4 years for Nick Saban and Alabama? Great build-up, kickoff moments away. We bring in now tonight's public address announcer, John McGreenen.
Go.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we ask that you would all please rise for our national anthem. The United States Southern Command will present tonight's colors. And now, to perform our national anthem, are members of the Grammy Award-winning multi-platinum selling artists Zac Brown Band.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight for the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Kickoff is coming up live from Miami Gardens, and now a look inside Nissan's Heisman House.
Big game coming up, huh? Feels good to be undefeated.
That's right, it does.
Who are you?
You guys gonna eat these?
Tweet to win an appearance in next year's Nissan Heisman House.
Welcome to the Nissan pregame shift. Nissan, premier partner of the Heisman Trophy and the Bowl Championship Series.
Welcome to the 2013 Discover BCS National Championship, where tonight the #1 Notre Dame Fighting Irish take on the number 2, Alabama Crimson Tide.
The time has come. The stadium filled. The teams ready. Don't turn it down. Turn it up. Don't sit down. Stand up. It's number 1 versus number 2. And the party doesn't stop. It's just beginning. Let's go.
Having a good time out there.
I'm running through the world like a running back. Scarface world's where I'm running back. 30,000 people in here know me. 80,000 people in here know me. I'm out for the Benjis, Frankies, you know. Just cause you ain't me, don't hate me. As a matter of fact, you should thank me. Even if you don't, you're welcome, young kids. Zigga, zow. Who got the keys to the world now? Yours truly.
Game time. The 2013 Discover BCS National Championship. Ranked as the top 2 teams in the nation, the Fighting Irish and the Crimson Tide square off 2 historic programs, an undefeated team and a defending national champion. A tough challenge tonight to become a 2013 BCS National Champion. Temperature in the 70s tonight, just a slight breeze, 84% humidity here tonight. It should be a beautiful evening to decide a champion in college football. One of the toughest tickets that we have ever been around since we've been covering any game. We will have an excess of 80,000 here tonight, and many more thousand are outside the stadium. Alabama and Notre Dame. The Irish lead the series all time. Last meeting back in '87, Notre Dame won 37-6. The classic, of course, was 1973, first time they ever played. Era Parsegan versus Bear Bryant. Era a winner, but only by a point, 24-23. Alabama's only win over the Irish came in Birmingham, Alabama, back in '86. Irish fans here know they are one of the biggest underdogs in the history of a BCS championship. But when it comes to history, no one stands taller than the Irish unless you're the Crimson Tide. 2 of the most storied programs. And remember, the Irish didn't start playing bowls until the 70s. That's why they trail by so much in that category. National titles claimed 14 in Alabama and 11 back in South Bend. Heisman winners, and remember, play like a champion today. Coach Kelly brought a sign with him from South Bend. That's a tradition up there when they come onto the field, so that they would have it here tonight as they file out of the Notre Dame locker room. Final instructions have been given last night. The managers put the final shine on those golden helmets. And now the defending national champion, Alabama Crimson Tide from Tuscaloosa, led by Coach Nick Saban. Saban putting together a dynasty. And that's the word we'll use if they win here tonight. It would be their 3rd championship in 4 years, and there were no votes. They did it the hard way. They beat Texas. They beat LSU. And now when they come out here, they'll tee it up against Notre Dame, undefeated and ranked number 1. The Tide about ready to roll out onto the stadium. Here they come. You can see that the 2 teams share the same tunnel here in Sun Life Stadium. The Irish were watching as the Tide filed by. field, and then it will be Notre Dame's turn. Manti Te'o, one of the most celebrated players in the history of college football, will lead him out. The heart of a true champion. Kelly welcoming him, and this has been the Nissan pregame shift. Welcome back, everybody, and what a scene, Herbie, as we look down Notre Dame and Alabama. And you know, a year ago, when the Crimson Tide throttled LSU, A.J. McCarron stood up, and I think he played perhaps the best game he'd ever played for Nick Saban.
And I think he knew coming into the game that he had an opportunity on that 1st and 10 passing to be able to step up. It's amazing what it's done to his confidence. He comes into this game now not just winning that and securing a championship, but beating LSU in Baton Rouge, beating Georgia in Atlanta and securing that SEC championship. They're going to put a lot on his shoulders in this game. He's going to have a lot of responsibilities at the line of scrimmage to make the right checks and try to attack this Notre Dame D.
When he moves up to the line of scrimmage, what he sees Manti Te'o.
He does see Manti, and I think Manti, because as you saw as he took the field, he's such a leader for this team. He's so instinctive. The fact that they're an underdog, he senses that. Notre Dame needs to start fast, and Manti Te'o needs to be able to see things and make sure he makes the right reads.
Of course, on the other side, there's another number 5 for Notre Dame. Everett Golson, you and I agree, he's one of the key performers here tonight.
Yeah, Everett Golson's going to have to play well for Notre Dame to get out of here with a win. And I think Brian Kelly's going to put a lot on him. I mean, he's been a little erratic early in the year, but you could see in the last 5 games, he's really started to come into his own, not just with the numbers, but just with the swagger. And I think tonight, you're going to see him throw the football a lot more than he's thrown all year because of the way they want to try to attack this Alabama defense.
I want to stay away from number 28, D. Milner, Herbie. He's pretty good defensive back.
Yeah, I think a big part of what Notre Dame wants to do is look for matchups that are to their advantage. D. Milner's an All-American. They'll be looking for other areas besides D.
Well, let's go down to our Pac-12 referee, Lan Clark.
Heads and tails. Captain, what is your call?
Tails.
The call is tails. And it is heads. You've won the toss. Excuse me? Notre Dame has won the toss and elected to defer. Receive. Let's go. Stand over here. Alabama's choice this half. They will receive. Good luck, gentlemen.
So the Tide will handle the ball first. Let's go down. Tom Rinaldi. He's with Coach Nick Saban. Tom.
Brett, thanks very much. 37 days to prepare. Essentially, it's a one-game season. What's your biggest question about your team right now, Nick?
Well, you know, how we come out and play and execute after that kind of break. I think it's the discipline and execution, the focus to be able to sustain, do your job, and play with a lot of poise, overcome a lot of resiliency in the game to overcome adversity is going to be real important in a game like this, especially early on with the emotion.
You believe in process, but ultimately the game is about result. Why will you win tonight?
Well, you know, we got to play our best game. I mean, if we play our best game, that's going to give us the best opportunity to be successful, and that's what I'm hoping for as a coach. That's what we try to prepare these guys for.
Nick, thanks very much. Good luck.
Thank you.
Let's go across to Heather with Brian Kelly. Heather?
Tom, thanks so much, Coach. It's been nearly a quarter century since Notre Dame last won a national championship. Moments ago, when you looked into your players' eyes, what did you tell them?
Well, how to win this game. You know, they know how to play the game. They'll play hard for 4 quarters. They've got will, determination, toughness. But the first 2 minutes are going to be crucial. And we've got to settle into the game. 2 minutes before the half, 2 minutes in the third quarter, 2 minutes at the end of the game. If we do that and understand how important those 2 minutes are through 4 quarters, we got a great chance to win.
Coach, you've said you also believe that this game will be decided up front. What do you need to do to gain that advantage?
Well, obviously, we've got to stop the run. If they can run at will and they get those big backs on our safeties, we're going to have a hard time bringing them down.
Coach, enjoy it. Brent, back to you.
All right, thank you very much. And that defense that you'll be hearing from tonight, and one of the leaders is Lewis Moore from Weatherford, Texas. The leader, of course, is number 5, Manti Te'o, in his final game, the young man from Honolulu. You know, Herbie, I mentioned that the Irish are a big underdog in this game. In some places 10 points, and there have only been 2 greater underdogs in the history of the BCS Championship. The largest underdog was the Ohio State Buckeye team in 2003 when they played Miami. Before that, Florida State was an 11-point favorite over Oklahoma in 2001. And here's the good news for Notre Dame. Both of those favorites lost in those 2 games.
And I think Brian Kelly just brought an outstanding point up with Heather Cox, and that's mentioning the importance of starting fast. After a long layoff and you're a big underdog, the emotions in this building, it's electric. Notre Dame, when you're an underdog, they need to start fast and they need to have some success to get themselves to believe that they can go out and knock off Alabama.
We mentioned number 28, D. Milner, and he'll be a first-round draft choice. He is back deep to return this kickoff. Kyle Brenza, who's had a fine year for Notre Dame, has it on the tee. And another speedster, Christian Jones, who played so very well against LSU in New Orleans, is also back deep with Milner. So Brenza puts the ball on the tee on the 35-yard line. And settle down, everybody. This crowd is ready. Jones from the 1-yard line to the middle and out to about the 19-yard line. So here comes the redshirt junior from Mobile, Alabama. Played at St. Paul's Episcopal High School, A.J. McCarron.
Amazing what a year will do to your confidence in a national championship. As we said earlier, Brent, they're going to put a lot on his shoulders in this game the way they have this year. Doug Nussmeier, the new offensive coordinator, has used his experience to put a lot on him as far as making the right checks, getting him out of bad plays. And tonight, Alabama wants to run the football to be able to set up the play-action pass.
Eddie Lacy is in the deep set. Lacy behind that great offensive line. And he is stopped after about a 1-yard gang tackled by that Irish front. And it was led by Lewis Moore, who you saw over there on the sideline getting ready.
Bama wants to try to force Notre Dame's safety, Zeke Mata and Matthias Farley, to come down into run support and then try to get behind them with big pass plays downfield.
Doug Nussmeier, the offensive coordinator, sticks with his same personnel. On first down, it's the play action. McCarron's going to throw deep. Norwood's got it in midfield.
Just talked about it. Notre Dame's got a lot of energy right now. They're fired up to stop Eddie Lacy. There's Norwood, who had a big championship game last year against LSU. Easily gets behind coverage. The Notre Dame defense trained their eyes on the run game, and it opened up for Norwood an easy throw here for A.J. McCarron to get into rhythm.
29 yards on the game. Norwood didn't have just a good day, Herbie. He had a career day against LSU in New Orleans. Now show the Nevada offense. Handed back off to Lacy. Lacy behind the left tackle, and he crushes the defense for another first down, and there's a penalty flag as Lacy's helmet came off on the play. He would leave for a play unless it was ripped off, and there's a penalty, then he could stay on the field.
Personal foul, face mask, defense number 48. 15-yard penalty will be added at the end of the play, an automatic first down.
So that was Dan Fox guilty on the face mask penalty, and the Tide threatening on their first drive of the game.
And that play action pass allows Notre Dame to go back to trying to stop this run, and Bama's able to get a little bit more room, and at the end of the play, Dan Fox clearly grabs a hold of that face mask and pulls the helmet off.
And as it comes off, on comes the freshman sensation, T.J. Yeldon. Yeldon is now in the deep set. Movement in the defensive front by Nix.
Offside with contact. Defense number 9. A 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Kirby, how about our Alabama impact, fellas?
Well, Eddie Lacy, obviously, along as you said with the freshman T.J. Yeldon, Amari Cooper, they're going to try to get him the ball vertically, and then C.J. Mosley and D. Milner lead the Alabama defense.
Yeldon again, a lot of shifting with the Irish front for Coach Bob Diaco. Barrett Jones calls the defense, identifies the Mike linebacker. Yeldon behind the left side, and he squeezes through inside the 20-yard line. What a freshman running back he is.
Oh, boy, we saw him in his opening game against Michigan in Dallas, and you could tell right then that it was going to be a special year for him. In fact, I saw Mark Ingram, who won the Heisman Trophy at Alabama, on the field after the game, and he said, man, TJ has a chance to be better than any of us before he's done playing in Tuscaloosa.
Eddie Lacy saddles up, back in. Quanjo, Warmack, Jones, Steen, and DJ Fluker. That's your offensive line. That's as good as it gets in college football. As good as any we've seen in several years. Lacy bolts middle, still going, end zone, and Eddie Lacy scores the first touchdown of the night. A 20-yard run for number 42. That was an 82-yard drive, and folks, that's a story. Notre Dame has not allowed a touchdown drive of more than 75 yards this season, and the tide rolls for 82.
That play-action pass just seemed to open up the running lanes after they had success with that throw. They got back to doing what they do well, and that's running the football. You can see the double team on the left side there, opening up with Quanjo and Warmack. Eddie Lacy, you can see how fresh he is. The turf toes behind him. He's running much quicker. We saw that in the last 3 games of the year. He's playing with great quickness, and it's a big touchdown here for Bama.
Jeremy Shelley tacked on the extra point. Area coverage brought to you by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you gotta get DirecTV. The Irish have some speed back deep. They can answer here. George Atkinson, the son of a great NFL player. His twin brother's also on this Notre Dame team, is back deep. A year ago, prior to this season, he returned 2 kickoffs for touchdowns. Ball on the tee for Cade Foster. Atkinson not going to play it out. He'll come to the 25-yard line. So here is the redshirt freshman, Kirby, from Myrtle Beach High School in South Carolina, and he's been maturing with every game. Here's Everett Golson.
We've talked a lot about how he has to play well. I think that's obvious. I think they're going to ask him to throw the football against this Alabama defense more than he's probably thrown all year. The other thing, Brent, is he's going to have to play with tremendous poise, much like he did at Oklahoma and USC late in the year. Be accurate, try to create, use your feet. A lot from him tonight if they're going to be able to move the ball offensively.
Notre Dame has decided to open with 3 tight ends. They'll empty the backfield out. Eifert, the Mackey Award winner, is toward the bottom of your screen, and Golson on first down fires complete.
A weakness from Alabama that was exposed late in the year was LSU passing the football with success, A&M throwing the football, and right away they go to an empty set, try to get some one-on-one matchups and get the ball thrown to the outside.
Looks like Golson lost a wristband, and that was a new one. Heather Cox reports from down below that they threw out so that he's got the plays there for it. Now it is second down and short after that completed pass to Jones for 8 yards. Up over the top he goes, under fire, and incomplete. Out of bounds was Eifert over there.
How about this? They're challenging D. Milner here, the All-American. They go with the size. He just put it up in the air. We've seen Eifert make these catches all year, clearly out of bounds, but you can see Brian Kelly said the team that makes the most mistakes might be the team that wins tonight. He's just basically saying we've got to take some chances right away. First couple plays, they're airing it out, and he goes right after D. Milner with Tyler Eifert.
Third down and 2. Golson goes back to that far side, goes back to the well, and Eifert this time is out of bounds, juggling. They went twice in a row after D. Milner and came up empty twice in a row.
D. Milner does a good job at not giving up on the ball. Remember, Eifert is 6'6". He's just trying to separate the football from it. I think he may have secured the ball while his foot was down. And that looks like a catch to me, Brent.
Well, they can always stop it. Every play is looked at upstairs.
A great effort by D. Milner, but I think maybe a better effort by Eifert to be able to hold on to the football.
Remember, the signal on the sideline was that he was juggling the ball as he went out of bounds. The crowd has seen the replay, and now the line judge comes out and signals a timeout here.
Timeout. Notre Dame, the first of the half.
This, of course, gives instant replay a lot of time here early in the game if they want a signal. What do we have here?
The Discover BCS National Championship is brought to you by the new Discover It card. Finally, a credit card that's changing the game. Taco Bell. Sometimes you gotta live más. The new 2013 Ford F-150 with EcoBoost. Allstate. Are you in good hands? And DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you gotta get DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV.
We're seeing some great views of the game, courtesy of the DirecTV Ultimate Picture Cam. Well, during that timeout instant replay at ample time, there was no notification down below, so Notre Dame will be punting, and Christian Jones is back deep for the Tide. Fair catch, and he signaled late. Fumble, flag comes down. Let's see if there was contact. He signaled for the fair catch at the 25-yard line. Ball was put down on the ground, but there was a penalty flag.
Interference with the opportunity to catch the kick. Kicking team number 41. At 15 yards penalty will be enforced in a spot foul. First down, Alabama.
Kelly is upset about this call. Take a look. It was a late signal, but that's a fair catch signal. Then was the teammate the one who hit the return man? Herbie, what'd you think?
I think he's upset because he feels that Blue blocked his man and he didn't even touch him. You know, we don't have the halo rule in college football anymore. You've got to give him room to be able to make the
but
catch.
There is a rule about 1 yard front or side. However, that's a horrendous call.
Absolutely.
He was not touched by the Notre Dame player. No. It should be Fighting Irish football. What's going on here? A.J. McCarron with a 7-point lead back under center. Eddie Lacy.
Last time Notre Dame tried to defend this Alabama offense, it was a kind of a combination. The A.J. McCarron play-action pass seemed to open it up to get back to running the football. The matchup everybody wanted to see was Alabama's running game against the physical front seven from Notre Dame.
Second down and 7. We are blessed with having Rogers Redding, the national coordinator of football officials, up here in the booth with us. We're going to bring him in right after this play. Lacey on a screen, rips and spins like he normally does. And Rogers, I've got to ask you, let's start with that punt down there. It appeared to us in a replay that the Notre Dame player never made contact with the return man.
He did not make contact, but the rule is that if he comes close enough where the officials judge that he caused the receiver to interfere with, to not be able to catch the ball, even though he doesn't make contact, he still has to give him room, and he can't come so close that he causes the receiver to bobble the ball. So I think it's a good call.
So that was a good call,
yes,
in your opinion. Okay, 3rd down and 1. Here's Lacey for a 1st down, and the big fella is rumbling. 2,000-yard backs, Herbie, on this team. Lacey along with T.J. Yeldon.
Well, if Alabama's going to be able to run the football with Eddie Lacey, it's going to be tough for Notre Dame to be able to hold up defensively. Right now, that battle that we all were excited to watch is obviously going in favor of Alabama's big behemoth offensive line pushing right now that Notre Dame front. And I'll tell you, we've seen Manti Te'o early in this game miss a couple tackles, something we've not seen all year. I think he had 2 missed tackles in the entire year. Already a couple missed tackles in his first couple drives.
1st down and 10. Play action, firing downfield, incomplete. Marvin Shin, who has been picking up the slack for the injured Kenny Bell, and that was Zeke Mata unloading.
Yeah, good throw there, and actually a great read, well designed. McCarron, plenty of time to throw. Shin's just unable to hold on to it because Mata lowers the boom. Zeke Mata is the thumper back there in the secondary for this defense, the senior. 6'2", 215 pounds, and he times that up perfectly. Clean hit, is able to dislodge that football away from Shin.
2nd down and 10. Little lateral over to Lacey, trying to find the edge, and he's forced out of bounds. Bobby Lacey goes about 225, 6 feet. When you stand down next to him on a practice field, you would not want to try to tackle the big fella.
Yeah, and I think what most people, when they think of Eddie Lacey, they think of how physical a runner he is. But now that the turf toe is healthy, the ankle is healthy, he has great suddenness and quickness to go along with that power.
Facing a 3rd and 5. McCarron fires for the 1st down, and he comes right back to Marvin Shin, who is a redshirt freshman.
They just overload this zone here and find the man that he wants. This is the experience of McCarron. He's looking into the teeth there of Manti Te'o and the rest of that defense in the middle. You see the true freshman, 22, Elias Shoemate. Just a great read, and what I've seen so far, every time McCarron drops back to throw, he's got ample amount of time to be able to look into the defense and make the read.
At the Irish 32, up by 7. Alabama with a 1st and 10. The handoff, Lacey to Daylight behind the left side. And for Alabama fans, they're happy that Cyrus Kwanjo, that left tackle, will be back next year. He's a sophomore. He'll be one of about perhaps 3 who will return to this offensive line. Many of the people in the Alabama family believe that DJ Fluker will go to the National Football League and will be a 1st-round draft choice. Barrett Jones, of course, is a 5th-year senior. He'll be gone. Chance Warmack, the left guard, is a senior from Atlanta. He, too, is going to be a #1 draft choice. Folks, this is some offensive line we're watching. On 2nd and 5, spins it out to Amari Cooper, the very talented freshman from Northwestern High School in Miami.
Well, Doug Nussmeier right now doing a very good job, the offensive coordinator, of mixing up the play action, mixing in the run with the pass. He came over from Washington last year with Steve Sarkisian, and I think he's done a really good job of maintaining where they were with Jim McElwain, who took the head job out of Colorado State. And just really, I think, a balanced attack. It starts with the run, of course, tonight, but with having a better quarterback like McCarron, if they keep protecting him like that, it's going to be tough for Notre Dame to stop this offense.
Lacey is in on 3rd and 1. He gets the call, steps through and breaks into daylight. 10 headed in zone, down short of it. Russell, the freshman, tripped him up, but it'll be 1st and goal for the Tide.
Well, not only is Alabama having their way, but look at Zeke Mata shoot through here. He's got to make that play. That's a 2-yard loss, and it's a field goal attempt. All year long, Notre Dame has made those plays down in the red zone and forced teams to kick field goals. That time, Eddie Lacy's vision and balance allowed him to get to the 2nd level.
The nose tackle, Jesse Williams, is in as a blocking back, number 54. Gonna throw, touchdown, the other Williams, Michael Williams, the tight end.
Absolutely great call by Doug Nussmeier here. Play action on 1st and 10 against a defense that when you get inside the 5-yard line, we talked all year about how effective they've been in that area. They pinch the gaps, they shoot the gaps, and that time everybody was defending the run. Perfect time to call the play action pass.
Shelley slides through the extra point.
You can see the defensive line. You see Manti Te'o shooting up. They're thinking Jesse Williams in there. They're going to run the football. 1st and 10. Don't wait the 3rd down. Call that on 1st and 10.
A.J. McCarroll with his first touchdown pass of the night. We'll be right back to the Discover BCS National Championship.
This is it, boy. This is what.
Jimmy Kimmel moves to a new time, Herbie, 11:35 tomorrow night. He's going to go head-to-head now with Jay Leno and David Letterman. Jimmy Kimmel, ABC, tomorrow, 11:35.
I'll be dialed in. Love Jimmy Kimmel.
So Barrett Jones is having his snap hand worked on down there. Remember, he had a left foot injury. That's the right hand that's being tended to down there. He is your ringleader. This is the 3rd position that he's played in 3 championship games. Remarkable story. Guard, then left tackle, and this year's center. Amazing. And Atkinson now will return this kickoff for the Irish to the 20-yard line. Let's take a look, Herbie, at tonight's Taco Bell touchdown spotlight.
Well, they've had a couple possessions, and they've been able to put 14 points up on the board, and it's been a very balanced approach. The double team here on the left side, which opened up a big run by Eddie Lacy, Cyrus Kwanjo, and Chance Warmack. Great vision there by Eddie Lacy. And then here, Manti Te'o expecting the run with big Jesse Williams in there. 1st and 10 play action. They sneak it in behind them. 2 possessions. 2 touchdowns, and Alabama is rolling right now early in this game.
That puts the heat squarely on the Notre Dame offense. They've got to respond. Sierra Wood is alongside Golson. And Golson rolls and throws again to the left, and he finally got Eifert a completion that time. Lester and fumble. Fumble, ball on the ground. And Alabama has recovered.
Well, this is exactly the way Notre Dame wanted to avoid this game starting. And Tyler Eifert gave tremendous effort. You wonder here, did his knee touch before the ball came out with this effort? Right knee. And there's the knee. You can't really, the ball's still in there. But then again, we expected them to review a play earlier, but this one looks like that knee is obviously down before the football came out.
The Irish defense is trotting out on the field. I think the only thing that surprises me is that instant replay has not stopped it, and now they do.
The ruling of the previous play of fumble is under further review.
So finally, an official review. Herbie, the Irish got to dial up the leprechaun. I mean, what? He missed the kickoff? You're watching the 2013 Discover BCS National Championship. Herbie, just in the nick of time, the Leprechaun arrives, and they do say that that knee was down. Notre Dame retains possession. They'll have about a 2nd and 2 as you take one more look at it.
Yeah, again, the right knee looked like the first shot that we had of it. You could see that he still had the football. So this will be 2nd and 2, ball at the 28 for Golston, who, by the way, 4 plays. They've only run 4 plays. They're down 14-0, and they've thrown 4 passes.
Have all of them been to the left?
Yeah, I believe they have.
2nd down. Now they're going to shovel a pass over to Sierra Wood. Wood picks up a 1st down, and he's close to the 35-yard line before Ed Stinson hauls him down.
A big part of what Notre Dame wants to do against this bigger SEC Bama defense is try to get their linebackers out in space. Try to get their safeties out in space, whether that means making them cover wide receivers and a guy like Tyler Eifert out in space, or getting a quick pitch out to Sierra Wood. Try to make this bigger Alabama defense have to play out in space against the quicker speed that Notre Dame has.
Theo Riddick is the running back behind Golston on this 1st down and 10. And Riddick, who had a great game against USC, is stuffed at the point of attack. C.J. Mosley, an outstanding inside linebacker, was there.
And see, this is why I think Brian Kelly was being honest with himself. It's going to be tough sledding up in the trenches to try to move the football by running, and Mosley is able to clean it up. But look at the Alabama defensive line. Jesse Williams, the nose guard, who bench presses over 600 pounds, just manhandling that front, making it easy for C.J. Mosley and those linebackers to clean it up. They're going to have to throw if they want to have success moving the ball.
Golston sprints to the left, throws, Jones dives for it, incomplete. Ball out of bounds, and so now it will be 3rd down.
Big emphasis from Kirby Smart is to keep Everett Golston in the pocket. Do not allow him to create. Kirby Smart, the defensive coordinator for Alabama, Nick Saban, he said, you know, we don't want to try to rush upfield. Let's just try to contain him, show us that he can throw the football from the pocket.
Coaches are happy to have DeVaris Daniels, number 10, back, and he's slotted to the left for the Irish, trotted in from the sideline. His daddy played in the National Football League for a long time, and he's got good ability. Golston, though, is forced out of the pocket on the move. Throws near side, incomplete. Notre Dame forced to punt.
Anybody can tell you it's always tough against Alabama on 3rd down. And when you give Kirby Smart and Nick Saban 4 weeks to put a plan together, everybody knows that they're going to get creative with their blitz package, and they want to flush him on 3rd down. That time they were able to get him out of the pocket quickly, and he just had nowhere to go with the football.
Ben Turk standing on the Notre Dame 20-yard line. Christian Jones on the other 20 for Alabama. High bounce. Jones grabs it and he's nailed at the 19-yard line, and that'll bring A.J. McCarron back into the game. Now, when you're a quarterback at Alabama, you see that lovely lady there. She does go to Auburn, I want to admit that, but she also Miss Alabama, and that's A.J. McCarron's girlfriend, okay? And right there on the right is Dee Dee Bonner. That's A.J.'s mom. Wow, I'm telling you, quarterbacks, you get all the good-looking women. What a beautiful woman.
Wow, A.J.'s doing some things right down in
So if you're a youngster in Alabama, start getting the football out and throw it around the backyard with Pop.
It's a big series for Notre Dame's defense, down 14.
Yeldon cuts back to the left. Couldn't quite keep his balance. Mata was in on the stop, and we're mentioning Mata too many times, Herbie. That front 7 of Notre Dame is not doing what we saw them do throughout the regular season.
No, right now I think they're guessing a little bit too on what play might be coming. Again, they're doing a really good job of mixing in the run with the play action pass. So far, Alabama 16 plays, 10 runs and 6 passes, and McCarron right now is just in a rhythm. He doesn't get a lot of pressure. They're running a lot to the left here behind the big left tackle Quanjo and big Chance Warmack, the left guard.
There's that play action that he favors. Throws downfield for the first down, and the receiver breaks free. Norwood took it across midfield. The Irish turned him loose.
When you run the football, it makes it very easy to set up play action because guys get out of position. He could have gone to Kelly Johnson out in the flat or the deeper throw to Norwood. Alabama feels that there's some mismatch out in the perimeter. If they get those safeties down in run support and you isolate those corners, Russell and Jackson one-on-one, they feel that they can have a big night throwing the football. And again, A.J. McCarron right now is really feeling it. He's 6 of 7 here in the early going.
That was 25 more yards to Norwood on that pass play. Norwood got 54 yards already tonight. Play action, fire, and that's complete to Cooper, the freshman from right here in Miami, and he slips down the sideline. Now, A.J. McCarron is trying to win back-to-back national championships as a quarterback, and folks, that would be a first. You will take a look that during the BCS era, Chris Winkie, Ken Dorsey, Matt Leinart all tried it and all came up short. So McCarron could be breathing rarefied air here tonight if he can win back-to-back championships for Coach Nick Saban. Remember, Greg McElroy was Saban's quarterback when they defeated Texas a few years ago in Pasadena. Big Nix finally shows up and makes a stop.
That's one of the first times we've seen the Notre Dame defensive line assert themselves. Nix is able to get through, shoot that gap with Barrett Jones. And actually, Stephon Tuitt also was able to beat his block. And the first negative play for Alabama sets up now a second long. And you can credit the defensive line there. Manti Te'o gets a lot of recognition. But for Notre Dame to play their kind of game, the defensive line has got to play better. And that maybe could be the start of something. We'll see.
Handoff to Yeldon. Yeldon is spun around and keeps going across the 35-yard line. That'll bring up third down.
Couldn't tell there if Louis Nix, as he was reaching in there to get involved in trying to make that tackle. You see him lined up there with Barrett Jones. He kind of reaches his big call out there and almost knocked the football loose. I couldn't tell if he got the face mask there or not, but no, he's able to avoid it.
Christian Jones is one of the wide receivers here, Herbie. He and Norwood are off to the right on this 3rd and 6. Cooper's at the bottom of your screen. He's a deep threat. And A.J.'s looking his direction. Got Cooper, Amari Cooper down to the 6-yard line. He's the one who can take it deep. Just ask the Georgia Bulldogs. 27 yards, Herbie.
They pick on Kivara Russell, the corner, who stays up front with Marvin Shin. You can see number 80 moved out to the flat, and it did just enough to keep 6 Russell up there to keep his attention. A huge window right behind him, and an easy throw again by A.J. McCarron. A.J. really working the outside now of this Notre Dame defense.
Here comes Jesse Williams back into that backfield. He'll be the lead blocker. Yeldon, the freshman, is the running back. Yeldon behind Jesse. Got a block. Goes for the end zone, and he's just short of it. Field judge with a good look at it.
Good push, again, by that left side. Boy, they are really controlling things there. Michael Williams, let's not forget him. We're talking so much about Quanjo and Warmack. But that big tight end Michael Williams doing a great job as well. That's a pretty good effort there by Yeldon.
It's going to be a great running back for Alabama.
Oh, boy. Yeah, they're going to take him. I thought he might have broken the plane there, Brent. And it's really going to come down to where his knee is.
Well, the first period has come to an end here. Being dominated in this BCS championship game. They'll try to regroup in the second quarter.
WatchESPN.com or download the Watch ESPN app to watch ESPN live anytime, anywhere. Brought to you by Vizio.
Tonight's game being broadcast in 3D on the ESPN 3D network. You can log on to ESPN3D.com for a schedule of upcoming live events. Up 14-0, starting the second quarter with a 2nd and goal, the Crimson Tide. This is the 8th play of this drive. The nose guard is the fullback in that formation in front of Yeldon. They've already had a long touchdown drive. And now they have 2 over 80 yards as Yeldon takes it across. Kirby, let's go back. Do you remember our opener? Alabama took a 21-0 lead over Michigan in their first game, and now here tonight, they lead the Irish 21-0.
I mean, they are dominating in every phase of this football game. Running the football, getting their quarterback in a position to have success throwing. He's 8 of 9. The defense has been dominant so far. Notre Dame right now just can't do anything right, and they're down 21 points.
Shelley knocks through his 3rd extra point. So Alabama has 3 possessions and 3 touchdowns here tonight against this ballyhooed Notre Dame defense.
And here's the view from our DirecTV Ultimate Picture Cam. Follow that big nose guard, Jesse Williams. He collides with Manti Te'o to open it up and then puts the safety right on his back to lead Yeldon into the end zone.
Jesse going to play in the NFL. Oh, by the way, he was an outstanding rugby player in Australia. And so as Alabama goes up by 3 touchdowns, look who's real happy about that. An Auburn fan cheering an Alabama touchdown. Wow.
Yeah, you're not allowed to do that. I mean, I don't care. Boyfriend or girlfriend or not.
She's switching. She's going to go to graduate school at Alabama.
She better. You know, you and I talked in the open about when you're such an underdog, you have got to come out and have something good happen to get yourself to believe that you can do it. And if you're the heavy favorite, you got to come out and try to kill the will. That's exactly what Bama's been able to do here in this first quarter.
Well, we'll see what Notre Dame can do. You know, they've been under pressure all season long. It hasn't been easy for them,
no.
Okay? And they've been able to come back. This, though, is the toughest task they face all year because of who they're up against. Ball's going to come out of the 25-yard line, and Everett Golson will come out now and see if he can get something going here.
Yeah, and the big thing for Brian Kelly is you're trying to manage this game and still get yourself and your team to think, hey, we're still going to be competitive. And as a play caller, you know it's tough to run the football. And so you've got to be able to try to get Everett Golson going a little bit, and you got to try to do it now under some circumstances that are putting you into some pretty obvious passing situations down by 21 here early.
Only 23 total yards for the Irish and over 200 for Bama. Golson straight back, has good time, fires downfield, caught by Daniels. There's the young man, Herbie, who can start to turn things around for the Irish.
It's great to see him back. He missed some games after an injury in the Boston College game, and he is a guy that can get vertical in a hurry, and they're actually going to go tempo now. But a great throw. You can see the arm strength there of Golson, and a good job by Daniels of being able to hold on to that football, getting behind Clinton Dix.
At 14 and a half minutes left here in the first half. And a touchdown would be huge for the morale of this Notre Dame team. It's 2nd down and 10. They were going back to him that time, and Robert Lester, the safety, covered him.
Urban Meyer, who was a guest on our pregame show, made a really interesting comment. He took a team of the Florida Gators in '06 to the national championship when they played Ohio State, and he said the first time we had a little bit of doubt going in. We needed some things to happen to get us to believe we belonged. In '08, when they played Oklahoma here in this stadium, it was a completely different feel.
Now on 2nd down, he is lit up. Nothing doing, and that is Mr. Mosley, the junior from Theodore High School in Alabama.
Mosley is all over the field. You know, he is known as the more athletic linebacker for Alabama, but Kirby Smart said, you know, late in the SEC championship, we kept him on the field for every single situation. Tonight's the first night he's starting in every play.
Needing 10 yards. Golson will try to take off, and he's not going to get it. Tackled at the 39, Jeffrey Pagan, one of the defensive linemen, bringing down Golson.
A good job again on third down. You know Golson has a tendency to want to take off. The defensive ends aren't getting too far upfield. They've been taught all month to try to keep Golson in the pocket, make him step up into the pocket, and allow the rest of the defense to be able to corral him.
Brian Kelly said, we got to go. We're down 3 scores. It's 4th down and 5. Got to make something happen. Golson gonna fire deep. Jones, jump ball deflected by Blue. The JC transfer was under attack, and he made a fine play that time.
How about Dion Blue? He's been at times picked on in the SEC. That time he goes up and high points the ball, and Jones never had a chance to get to that for a first down. Notre Dame took a chance and went downfield for the big one.
Now, can the Irish defense stand up? Can they finally stop the tide? We'll find out. You're watching the 2013 Discover BCS National Championship. Alabama 21, Notre Dame nothing. Play action on first down, and he has to throw it away. Pressure was being brought by Notre Dame that time, and Prince Shimbo.
Brent, I don't think you and I were necessarily surprised that Notre Dame went for it, but the fact that in man coverage they just went vertically downfield. Here's Theo Riddick, who does a little option route and just gets smothered by the linebackers, but really a low percentage opportunity here for Everett Golson by just throwing it down the field against man coverage, and I think he and Brian Kelly may be trying to work things out. But a low percentage play there on 4th down.
No doubt. 2nd down and 10 from McCarron. And Shimbo was bringing a little heat in that last play. Lacey. Now the Irish defense back-to-back strong plays. Calabrese, Carlo Calabrese, number 44, in on that stop.
Here's good quickness. Calabrese, the more physical linebacker between he and Dan Fox. That time they were literally shooting downhill before Eddie Lacy even had his hands on the football. Look at him shooting through the gaps. There's nothing the offensive line could do there. What that does eventually is allow Bama to go back to play action when those linebackers start shooting downhill like that.
Now, Alabama is 4 of 4 on 3rd down, but this one's 3rd and 12, and McCarron undoubtedly will be throwing for the 11th time in this game. Middle, open, got the first down, and is there a holding call? There's a penalty flag.
They only rushed 2, and they're able to somehow get a holding call here. Looked like it was on the left side there, Brent.
Offense number 71, 10-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Cyrus Kwanjo, the left tackle.
Chance Warmack and Kwanjo actually lock in. Both of them lock in on Prince Shimba at the top of the screen. There it is, right there. He just grabs him and throws him down. Notre Dame rushed 2, dropped 9 into coverage, and they still had a holding call with just 2 rushers.
That's Alabama's first penalty here tonight. 3 penalties against Notre Dame.
It's a big opportunity for Notre Dame's defense. It could also not just come up with a stop, it could affect field position here for the Notre Dame offense.
Bama sent out 4 receivers. Amari Cooper wide to the left. McCarron steps away from pressure. The middle is open. He won't get the first down. He's down at the 35, and Alabama is finally forced to punt.
Jay McCarron's probably thinking, my gosh, that holding call. If we didn't have that holding call, we keep this drive alive.
Cody Mandel, and maybe for Notre Dame here, Devontae Neal, the very talented freshman, can get something going. He's the return man. We got 11:27 remaining here in the first half. Desperately needing to get on the scoreboard. Low kick. Long, Neal back, fumbles, ball loose, headed for the sideline, dive, and it goes out of bounds. So the Irish will take over Oh, this was close. Oh, baby. Flirting with a near disaster here, Herbie.
So much for field position.
But the young man had the presence of mind to get it out of bounds.
The Discover BCS National Championship is brought to you by Cadillac, the standard of the world. AT&T, official sponsor of the Bowl Championship Series. Coca-Cola Zero, real Coke taste and 0 calories. And Tostitos, where there's Tostitos, there's a party.
Well, most of the heavy celebrating taking place in Tuscaloosa, but here's some young fans in that hospital and back in New Jersey. Notre Dame fans are saying, come on here, Irish. Let's get it going. First down and 10. Riddick up the middle, explodes. And the center fielder waited for him and took him down at the 29. Lester.
It's the first time we've seen Notre Dame be able to establish the line of scrimmage here. Outstanding block by Chris Watt, the left guard, to open that play up. And I'll tell you, Theo Riddick has great quickness. And if you get him to that second level, he can accelerate into the secondary. Big first play there to start this drive.
Braxton Cave, the strongest player on the Notre Dame team, is a center who blew that open. And this time, nothing doing. I mean, they were jumped. Clinton Dix got all over him on a safety blitz.
He came down, he kind of baited Everett Golson. Everett Golson never even saw him. He waited, and then right as the ball was snapped, he was actually running downhill. And I'll tell you, Theo Riddick lucky to hold on to the football that time because Clinton Dix leveled him as he got the ball.
Riddick is out. Sierra Wood checks in. Golson on 2nd and 13. Jones makes the catch at the 34-yard line, short of the first down. Blue making the stop. And over on the Alabama sideline, meanwhile, they are still tending to A.J. McCarron, who looked a little awkward after he went down on that 3rd down run and went over there. But Herbie, with ice and the way they were bending the toe, couldn't that be a cramp?
Yeah, you know, here in this humidity here in South Florida, you wonder if that cramp on his right calf might be affecting him.
So Riddick is over on the left flank for the Irish in this 3rd and 3. And Golson going to take off. I don't believe he got the first down. I think he's a good yard plus short.
He was looking to get the ball thrown to his left to Tyler Eifert. You'd see Eifert and Golson talking right there about the route adjustment to the coverage that he saw. Golson was anticipating one thing, and Eifert did another, and because he didn't do what he thought that he was going to do, he had to try to take off and run with it.
Ben Turk steps in. You have to wonder, because it happened several times during the season. Would Brian Kelly send in Tommy Reese for a series to see if he can settle Golson down? Fair catch by Jones back at the 11-yard line. So while that is going on, A.J. McCarron is buckling up and coming back.
This year's AT&T All-America Player of the Year is Jadeveon Clowney from South Carolina. On behalf of AT&T, we'd like to congratulate Jadeveon and thank all college football fans out there who voted. The AT&T All-America Player of the Year is determined by the fans.
No argument with Clowney for that award. And here the Alabama offensive line has been the dominant force. Quanjo, Warmack, Jones, Steen, and Fluker. And it's a 3-touchdown lead for the champions of the Southeastern Conference. Here is Lacey. Patiently picks his way for another first down. Let's check in down below. Tom, what was the final prognosis on A.J. McCarron on the sideline?
McCarron came over to the bench, Brett, after the scramble on that last series. Described as suffering a Charlie horse on that scramble from an awkward hit. He received ice treatment. It was massaged out. And ultimately, McCarron back in the game. A slight hitch to the way he's moving, but ready to go.
Lewis Nix, 344 pounds landing on your calf will do that to you.
That's the full horse on it. First down and 10. Lacey again behind the left side. There's that spin move. Throws a defender aside.
I think I've seen more missed tackles from Notre Dame's defense in this first half than I've seen in 12 games of watching them play this year. Zeke Mata has been in position. He was in that last play. He was in position to make a play, unable to. We've seen even Manti Te'o in position to make plays, unable to. Don't get me wrong, Eddie Lacy's a phenomenal back, but they are really unsure of themselves right now, trying to secure Eddie Lacy and trying to bring him down.
92 yards for Lacy here. Just inside of 8 minutes remaining in the first half. Wide open is the tight end Michael Williams, who has one of their 3 touchdowns.
You see this Notre Dame defense. It's been one of the more dominant forces all year, and really a big reason why they're in this game tonight. But you can see what Alabama's done in this first half. They've just had their way, not only running the football, but I mean, when A.J. McCarron jumps back to throw, it's like he's playing catch out in the backyard. He's 9 of 11 so far for 118 yards.
Back to throw again and drops it off to Lacy, who juggles it when he turned around, and it'll be second down.
Notre Dame is so conscious of not letting McCarron have a receiver like Amari Cooper get behind them, that they're opening up some easy throws underneath, and those 18-yard out, those comeback routes, those are very, very easy for him to throw because everybody's bailing to be able to prevent the deep ball.
LSU feels your pain, Notre Dame. 21-0 in New Orleans last year. The Tide rolled. Then had 5 players drafted in the first 35 picks of the NFL draft. Nick Saban and his staff simply reloaded. Second down and 10. McCarron in trouble that time, and able to get it off and flip it because of pressure from Ishaq Williams.
Ishaq Williams gets the pressure, but really Capron Lewis Moore sniffed that screen out, and McCarron didn't have anywhere to throw the football. Capron Lewis Moore, one of the seniors, the leaders of this football team, doing a very good job there on that play and forcing another third down here for Alabama.
Third down and 10. Bunch receivers with a little motion. Cooper's at the bottom of the set. McCarron gonna go deep. Cooper breaks free. Oh, he couldn't quite get it. Or to have a home run.
You knew it's a matter of time till they try to get the ball to Amari Cooper downfield, and this is something you just cannot do if you're the safety. You've got Zeke Mata back there, Matthias Farley, both, and that ball just goes right behind them. If there's a little bit more air under it, Cooper walks underneath that for a deadly touchdown in this football game. McCarron thought he had it. They just miss on the big one.
Devontae Neal, remember he juggled the last punt. Cody Mandel, the Bama punter. Drives him back inside the 5-yard line. And he's going down at the 2-yard line.
First, Neal bobbles a punt that almost gives the ball back to Alabama, and now he fields a punt inside his own 5-yard line.
Landon Collins with the stop for the Tide. A night to forget. Well, the NBA on ESPN will take you out west on Wednesday night. 2 very interesting games. Lakers, Spurs at 8. Then it'll be the Mavericks and the Clippers. And have the Clippers started to take over the City of Angels? You can find out. That's a pretty exciting team that they've got going right now. Chance to win the Western Conference. Meanwhile, Notre Dame trailing 21-0. And Herbie, they're coming out from the shadow of their own goal line. Golson from the end zone throws complete, and they finally get the tight end Eifert involved here.
It's the second time he's been able to make a catch. They tried to get the ball to him earlier in the first quarter where they went up in the air Try to get it over the top of D. Milner, who made the play on the sideline. This time, again, one-on-one opportunity against the linebackers, a play that Eifert's got to be able to make. Remember, he and Golson had a little talk after that last third down pass where there was a miscommunication.
Comes up under center now and hands off to Riddick. They've got 6.5 minutes, Herbie, to get something on the board. It would be huge for Notre Dame if they can break through.
A big part of playing in these games with a long layoff and you're a big underdog is you got to get something positive to happen to get yourself to believe. And right now, Brian Kelly's still searching for that. They've been able to step up a little bit better defensively. They forced the 2 punts. Now it's a matter of trying to get Everett Golson and this offense going. Comes the blitz from the top. He's seeing it. He may check out of it. Geno Smith, now that Kirby Smart's checking out of it.
Fires to Daniels, and it was complete for a Notre Dame first down at the 32-yard line.
Yeah, he recognized the blitz off to his right, made a check to be able to get an easy throw back into the sidelines here. Simple throw, good read, and a nice job of recognizing the blitz. But what's interesting is Kirby Smart called off the blitz, but they were still able to execute the play for the first.
Alabama owns a huge depth advantage in this football game. 6 defensive linemen rotating now for the Tide in this football game, keeping fresh bodies out there. Play action. Golson takes off, comes back the other way. His receiver Daniels again, almost intercepted. Clinton Dix simply ran out of field. It was a little bit underthrown, and it's incomplete.
Really good job again by Bama of chasing him down, keeping him in the pocket, not allowing him to get to the outside. But still, Golson made a pretty good effort there to buy a lot of time. Very, very tough for Clinton Dix to be able to stay with his man that long. Great coverage and a good job again of corralling Everett Golson.
John Goodman checks in as one of the wide receivers for the Irish. Robbie Toma from Hawaii is over on the right slot. Golson looks in that direction and now backs out under pressure and fires to Eifert, but that's short of the first down. Clinton Dix again.
Yeah, and what they're trying to do with Golson is, again, keep him in the pocket. Here's Hubbard, one of their best pass rusher. Instead of chasing upfield, he's just trying to keep him in that pocket, make him make a play from inside the pocket. Here, they keep him in the pocket, make him try to scramble, step into the pocket, and there's 3 defenders able to chase him down. They did it again on the previous 2 plays.
6'7" Troy Nicholas on the field for Notre Dame. He's number 85. He's going to be a fine tight end. 3rd down and 3. They have not converted a first down on 3rd down yet. Play action. Golson under pressure. Spins away. Sack go and down. That was Hubbard staying with him, and Hubbard, you talk about size for a linebacker, 6'6".
Hubbard just didn't give up on the play, but outstanding coverage as well. They're trying to catch him off guard here, a little bit of a play action. They don't even have Eifert out involved. And Sinceri, who's known as a great blitzer, gets involved. Hubbard doesn't give up on the play, but really the secondary, their awareness to the route and recognizing that was the key to the play.
Ben Turk hangs it up. Christian Jones, fair catch at the 34-yard line. 3:43 to go. Everett Golson again having a conversation with his head coach over there on the summer. During the year, Coach Kelly yanked him out to Reese, but I do want to make a point about Everett Golson. In the Pittsburgh game, it was Golson who bailed the coach out in the second half.
Right. But with his mobility, I don't think you have much of a choice. If you bring Tommy Reese into this game with this defense, I think it would really handicap your opportunity to make plays. Golson's mobility gives you at least a fighter's chance of trying to be able to move the ball.
Here's the handoff to Yeldon. He swarmed around the 30-yard line, and Coach Saban would dearly love to kill the clock here and go into the locker room up 21-0. He'd like to take it on down there. Here is a man I laughed when I read those rumors that he might be going to the Cleveland Browns and several. He's not leaving Tuscaloosa, folks. He's got a much better job. I'm telling you that right now. He doesn't have one first-round draft choice a year. He signs 4 or 5. Why would you leave? You're making $5 million. Holy Toledo. Here we go now. 2nd down and 8. Here's Yeldon. Barrels through for a first down.
See, I don't think they're thinking about 21-0 at the half. I think they're thinking 28, at least 24-0. With A.J. McCarron, the way he's executing right now and the way they're able to run the football, I think they want more points here before they get to the halftime. And again, the balanced approach, keeping Notre Dame off balance. McCarron now on 1st and 10. This is always usually a time to look out for him with a play-action pass right off after a first down.
1st down and 10 for McCarron. Clock continuing to run now, down toward that 2:30. Off Yeldon's hands and almost intercepted by Teo at 7 on the year. That's how he gets many of them, Herbie. That deflection in the middle of the field, and Teo took a shot at it.
Yeah, I think that might have surprised Yeldon. That ball came out in a hurry and just almost went right off of his face mask and straight up into the air. As you said, we've had a number of games where Manti Teo seems to just be in the right place at the right time and able to come up with a lot of interceptions. That would have been a big one for the Irish, obviously looking for any break that they can find.
2nd down and 10. Yeldon. Short of the first down marker and the 50-yard line. Sheldon Day making the stop.
One of the biggest surprises to me in this first half has been the missed tackles by Notre Dame. Even when they've been in position to make plays, they've not been able to make tackles on Eddie Lacy. A lot of times, Zeke Mott is one of their best tacklers, most physical player, along with Manti Teo, and that theme's kind of continued throughout this first half. Being in position to make plays and not being able to bring down the ball carrier.
Yeldon is the running back. Kelly Johnson is the fullback on this 3rd and 3. Yeldon will follow Johnson. Johnson got blown up. And Yeldon with his 2nd effort breaks free. He did it on his own.
Brent, we just talked about missed tackles. And here's Manti Teo again. Recognized as a top linebacker in the country. Notre Dame's in perfect position here to be able to keep him well short of the first down. Manti Teo and the rest of this defense unable to wrap him up and bring down T.J. Yeldon.
And it gives them a 1st and 10 on the Irish 43-yard line. Screen pass, Yeldon. Irish jumping. Jimbo and Teo are over there on the side. And, of course, for Alabama fans, they'll never forget that screen pass for the touchdown against LSU to Yeldon when they came down the field. And now we've got an injured Notre Dame player, and that's Lewis Moore, and that would be a big loss.
He right away you could see he was in a lot of pain. He is such a leader for this team, such an important part of that defensive line. Captain Lewis Moore, he 306 pounds out of Texas, a co-captain, had 6 sacks on the year. More than that, you can just tell by looking at him. He's a guy that's got quite a personality and a guy that his teammates really respond to. But I happened to be watching him on that play the whole way, and it did not look good. Right away, showing a lot of pain and reaching down to that right leg.
So again, as you take a look at this, we talked about the fact that Notre Dame lacks the depth, and you could see it right there on the left side of the screen.
Yeah, it looked like when he jumped up to try to knock the ball down, he had some kind of reaction there that clearly he was reaching down to his knee when he went up into the air. So right away something wasn't right, but great to see him up on his feet.
Well, let's hope that he's going to be all right. And I want to remind everybody that the Buick halftime report is coming up. We've got a little over a minute here left in the first half. Chris Fowler Desmond Howard and Herbie, you mentioned Urban Meyer, the Ohio State coach. He'll break down the first half, which has been dominated by Alabama.
You know, not only is depth an issue, but down here in South Florida, you wonder in the second half if conditioning becomes a factor. Not to mention, Alabama's had the ball for 19 minutes here in this first half, almost a 10-minute advantage in time of possession.
They have 267 total yards, 149 rushing yards, and Lacey trying to pick up more. So now 1 minute left here in the first half. Teo does make the stop this time, and the clock is running. Alabama up 3 touchdowns. So Bama will burn a timeout. They have a long field goal kicker in Cade Foster. A year ago in the championship game, as you see Lewis Moore being tended to on the Notre Dame sideline. A year ago, Jeremy Shelley kicked 5 field goals against LSU. He was wearing number 90 that night, Herbie, and guess what? He's wearing number 5 in honor of that night.
That's great. Much better look, by the way, too. You always worry about a kicker wearing a 90. 5 looks better.
There's Cade Foster. He is the long man. He also handles the kickoffs. 3rd down and 6. They squeeze just a couple more yards out of this, and we'll probably see Cade Foster here. And if they get a first down, they'll try to strike to the end zone. It's as simple as that. McCarron, this time, Jones has got it inside the 10-yard line. 39 seconds, Herbert.
Brent, you're right. They're still thinking about trying to attack 3rd down and long. And here's the true freshman trying to stay with Christian Jones. Never finds the football. Gets beat to the outside. How about the rhythm there by A.J. McCarron? He put that right to the spot. But Jones can make a play on it. And the true freshman, Shoemate, didn't have any chance. He never turned his head and found the ball.
Two receivers to the left. McCarron throwing all the way. Drops it off. Lacey in a foot race. End zone. Touchdown, Alabama. Tide rolling again. If this was a prize fight, they'd call it off.
Well, that play, to me, kind of sums up A.J. McCarron and the way this game has gone. Not just a touchdown pass, Brent, but it was the way he read the defense, stayed poised in the pocket, checked it down to Eddie Lacy, and he ends up in the end zone for a touchdown.
During the season, Notre Dame allowed 10.33 points per game. Most points they allowed all year, 26 in that triple overtime win over Pittsburgh. Alabama has exceeded that here in the first half.
He looks off to his right, is tight end. Look how he's calm. There's no pressure. And instead of forcing the throw to Michael Williams, he calmly comes back, looks for his check down, finds Eddie Lacy, no pressure. And of course, we've seen Eddie Lacy, what he can do in the open field. No, by the way, Notre Dame continuing to miss tackles in the open field.
So quarterback A.J. McCarron celebrates again with his 2nd touchdown pass of the night. His girlfriend on the left, one-time Miss Alabama, and Mom is there on the right. Johnny Football may have some competition for the Heisman Trophy next year, folks. A.J. McCarron is just getting better and better. Atkinson now for the Irish. And he is out of bounds around the 20-yard line.
We've seen A.J. McCarron be the leader for this football team, and he really has demonstrated such poise when we've been around him this week, and it's continued tonight. 12 of 18, very few poor decisions, has a lot of time to work with, and the combination of Eddie Lacy. It starts with Eddie Lacy in the running game, takes the pressure off of McCarron, sets up the play-action pass game. The two have been really clicking tonight, and Notre Dame's defense is really just guessing right now what play might be coming next.
And those big uglies in front of McCarron doing a pretty good job here today.
Yeah, that helps.
26 seconds to go for Golson and the Irish. Incomplete. Daniels was the target. Milner had coverage that time. There's a fellow who's going to play a lot of football on Sundays.
I'm very surprised they've gone after D. Milner. Of all the defenders that you would think they'd want to try to maybe find some matchups, the top corner arguably in college football is probably not the guy you want to test. And they've gone after him, and I'd be careful here with 21 seconds. Maybe just try to get out of dodge. You throw the football like that against D. Milner, you could step in front of it and take it to the end zone.
Curling in underneath again, coming after him with Eifert. Milner is there, and Nico Johnson dropped back. He's one of the outstanding veterans of this team. So the final seconds tick away. Alabama, 28. Notre Dame, nothing. And the Tide head for the tunnel first. Let's go down to Tom Rinaldi now with Coach Saban.
Brent, thanks very much. The scoreboard says one thing, but how would you describe your team's play, Nick?
Well, you know, I think we played well offensively. We're controlling the line of scrimmage. You know, we're running the ball. We got good balance. That's what we want to have. Defensively, we're doing a pretty good job. They hit a couple plays on us, but, you know, we just got to play 60 minutes in the game. This game's not over, and our players got to understand that.
Thanks. Appreciate it, Nick. Let's go over to Heather.
Tom, thanks so much, Coach. Doesn't seem to be the defense that we really have grown accustomed to seeing all season. Where do the fixes need to come in the second half?
Maybe Alabama doesn't come back in the second half. It's all Alabama. I mean, we can't tackle them right now, and you know, who knows why? You know, they're big and physical. I guess I do know why. It's just that our guys have not tackled the way they have all year. And then we've got to get off press and man coverage. We haven't been able to do that. So credit Alabama. They played a great first half. We got to go in there and we got to get after it and play with some pride in the second half and try to get this thing closer so we can try to find a way to win.
Coach, we'll let you get to your guys. Thank you. Brent?
All right, Heather, thank you. For Bama, 309 yards of offense. For Notre Dame, only 124. We'll be right back with the Buick halftime report with Chris Fowler.
Welcome to the Buick halftime report.
Oh, big bad Bama at the break. Chris Fowler, Urban Meyer, and Desmond Howard. You put it together last year's 21-zip shutout of LSU. 49 straight points for Saban teams in championship games, Urban. It was supposed to be strength versus strength when Bama had the ball. Tide have been strong. What's going wrong for Notre Dame's defense?
Two things. That's obvious. I mean, for me to say this, everyone watching the game, missed tackles on Lacy. And the worst fear, I'm sure, the Notre Dame defensive coaches, they've been exposed in the second here. McCarron's having his way. I think I counted at least 4 post-corner routes that the corners and safeties just are nowhere near that, are nowhere near the receiver.
Coach, when I'm looking at this Notre Dame defense, I see that Alabama's they're able to get to Manti Te'o because Barrett Jones, the center, who we thought would be hobbled by a left foot injury, is man up one-on-one with Lewis Nix, handling him all by himself. At times, he may get a brush block from a guard, but they're allowing him to man up against Lewis Nix, which frees up the guards to get to the next level to Manti Te'o. I don't have the statistics in front of me. I don't know how many tackles Te'o has made, but I can tell you he's missed a lot of tackles in the first half.
We went through game by game on tape, 2 different studies, found 2 missed tackles by Te'o all season long. He's got more than that in the first half. Now, Lacy is a tough guy to tackle. Is a layoff part of that 44 days or just physical players on the other side?
Yeah. The Crimson team's a much better team right now. And he asked me a question, what's the answers in the locker room right now for Brian Kelly and his coaching staff? I'm not sure what it is. You better tackle it. This game's going to get real bad here in the second half.
I feel the same way. I think that, you have the built-in excuse because of the layoff, but you're playing against two supreme running backs in Lacey and Yeldon. I think now in the second half, what they need to do offensively is run some check down plays to the running backs. Let the three guys go vertical, but then check down underneath and let those guys catch the ball and run.
Eddie Lacy was a kind of a supporting player in last year's title run. To Trent Richardson, he is the main man tonight, bolting right up the middle. This set the tone, made it 7-0, 96 for Lacy in the first half.
You're watching the Buick Halftime Report. This halftime report is presented by the new Buick Enclave. It's smart made beautiful.
For a team that allows 10 points per game, Notre Dame giving up 28 in the first half. They didn't allow that many in any single game. This seems like an impossible task, but if you're in Brian Kelly's shoes, you will get the ball to start the second half. You haven't converted a third down or the 1 4th down play yet. What do you tell your quarterback, Urban?
You can tell the game plan was to come out and force the ball down the field a little bit. The one juggling catch by Eifert, if that's a catch, maybe this game's a little different. But you have to, Golson's got to manage the game a little bit here. You got to get some first downs. You got to get a score. This one's over. You have to get a field goal or a touchdown. This one's over.
Brian Kelly, Desmond said he was going to be aggressive. What do you think of the choices made by Golson on those third down opportunities?
Well, I think the problem is when they go for those big plays on first down and they don't get them, then they're playing behind the chains. And that leaves the offense behind the 8 ball, so to speak. They need to have manageable first and second and third downs. They're not getting that because they're missing on their first down plays. That's where they're 0 for 5 on third downs.
Okay, the last 3 championship games, Saban's defenses have not allowed a single touchdown. The Texas, LSU, and now Notre Dame, only 2 field goals. It doesn't get much better in the second half. What can you do to stop the Alabama offense? Because you know it's going to be a very steady diet of 42-4 coming straight at you.
Well, you're going to have to, and I'm not sure they can do it. But they're going to have to sink a safety in the box, force their covers to play some man coverage, or you have no chance. You need to get an extra hat in the box. They can't play 2 safeties.
Which is their biggest nightmare. Yeah. They do not want to do that. We all knew that coming into this game, that if they had to drop a safety into the box, number 9, number 83, and number 80, those wideouts can cut loose. So it's going to be a long second half, but this is just a good old-fashioned butt kicking.
Nightmare is the word that seems to apply for the first 30 minutes. Notre Dame on a 1st and goal play, all bowed up to stop the run, but the old 6'6" tight end Michael Williams snuck in for a touchdown pass. All right, Jimmy, welcome back. DJ Yeldon, part of the future of Alabama, true freshman in the house. 28-0. Amari Cooper, by the way, also a freshman. A.J. McCarron back next year. So the Tide, they're not going anywhere. Many will feel, Desmond, that the National Championship game was played 4 weeks ago in Atlanta when the Georgia Bulldogs almost beat this team.
With this display out here tonight, it's hard to argue against that. I mean, you're looking at possibly 7 in a row for the SEC, so I think they're going to have bragging rights, and rightfully so. I mean, it's hard to argue that point.
You think it's simply about speed?
Well, it's sounding almost like a broken record, but the speed differential is glaring in this game in 2 areas. Golson, when he starts to scramble, by the time he gets his 3rd step in the ground, you have 2 defenders on him. And the skill players right now, it's not close. In the back end of the secondary of Notre Dame having a hard time measuring up to Alabama's skill.
When you watch this, it makes you appreciate just how quick and explosive Johnny Manziel is at A&M, able to get away from that defense. Yep. The one team was able to beat them. First 17 plays of the game for Notre Dame, 9 of them were for 0 or negative yards. And despite the claims on social media, no, Oregon cannot get here in time for the second half. And it won't be Stanford or anybody else. We'll see what Notre Dame can do. They will get the ball first to start the second half in a massive hole. The Tide rolling along by 4 touchdowns.
This halftime report is presented by the new Buick Enclave. It's smart made beautiful.
And the Tide rolls. Gonna throw touchdown, the other Williams.
Maybe the Irish got to dial up the leprechaun.
They are dominating in every phase of this football game.
We welcome you back to the second half of the Discover BCS National Championship. And Herbie, Alabama's really hitting them with a balanced attack.
Yeah, they really have had their way. What a great game plan by Doug Nussmeier, and what they've been able to do for A.J. McCarron. We knew coming in the battle we wanted to see was about the running game. And how could they run the football against this Notre Dame front? And they've been able to come up with some great variety of mixing in different runs. And Notre Dame's not been able to bring down these ball carriers, so they've been running the football at will. And it's just set up their play-action pass. This is early in the game. A.J. McCarron in rhythm, doesn't feel much pressure, finds Norwood downfield, and an outstanding first half, 12 of 18, just very little pressure. And you just heard the head coach from Notre Dame walking off saying, how do we get back in the second half? Maybe Alabama doesn't come out in the second half.
They came out. Notre Dame does get to handle the ball first, though.
This just in.
And, the Irish should forget it's 28-0. Start from scratch and see what they can do here.
Yeah.
One step at a time.
You're right.
Okay. Atkinson and his teammate says, take a knee down there. Let's check in down below with Heather.
Brent, I was able to catch up with Brian Kelly coming out of the locker room. He has absolutely no intention of making a quarterback change. He told Everett Golson in the locker room, I need you to be quicker. I need your timing to be better, especially against that tight man coverage that Bama's showing him. And then he said, I just need 7 points. All I care about is this next drive. Now, some bad news for Notre Dame's defense. Capron Lewis Moore is out with a right knee injury. He will not return, Brent.
All right, Heather, thank you very much. And, of course, when you look down the road with this redshirt freshman, Coach Kelly's got an eye on next season, too. So he wants to keep this young man improving, and he doesn't want to hurt that confidence here with a quick hook here tonight. Riddick cuts back into the middle, and that's a pretty good-looking first down run behind Braxton Cave, Chris Watt, and Mike Golick.
I think, you and I are thinking the same thing, and Brian Kelly sounds like obviously, as a head coach, he just wants to try to get points up on the board, but he's right. This is a drive where you want to get not just points on the board, but you want to get your team to believe, guys, this is possible.
Off the blitz, throws complete. And they went at Milner again. Daniels makes the reception. They're not backing away from 28's reputation.
No, it's probably the 5th time they've gone back into the boundary to try to attack one of the top corners in the country. The ball is thrown perfectly. The back shoulder fade. The ball is in the air well before Daniels even comes back to the football. Just a thumbs up to Everett Golson.
Daniels had a broken clavicle in the BC game, back off the injured list tonight. Golson fires other side, and Jones dives for the first down, maybe just a little bit short of it as it's spotted. Blue is battling in.
This is a good job again by Everett Golson. He gets enough time here, puts that football away from the defender. You see how he threw that? He positioned the ball as he's falling, by the way, backwards, away from Blue, where Jones could make a nice play on it.
Second down and short. And Riddick picks up the first down before Clinton Dix, who's been extremely active, along with Mosley, pushed him back, but he had the first down, and they will move the chains.
We have not seen Theo Riddick involved much in the passing game. In fact, he's been more in the backfield. I thought, coming in, they might want to try to find ways to get him in some favorable matchups, but they've needed him in that backfield more than in that slot position.
Toma and Jones are to Golson's left. A little bit of a mix-up there as they were crossing. Toma was the intended target.
Again, you can see there he's communicating that to Brian Kelly. One of the things that Alabama really can challenge you on is your route adjustments. You've got to be able to recognize coverage on the fly. They'll show you one look in coverage and then jump to another look when the ball is snapped. And if the quarterback and the receivers aren't on the same page, you'll often see passes that are thrown away like that.
Second down and 10. Golson fires far side, one-on-one. Daniels, jump ball. Clinton Dix dives for it and he's got it.
What a spectacular interception by number 6, who's had a whale of a game. He's a sophomore from Orlando, Florida.
Brent, maybe you and I are looking at a different scouting report, but why do they keep going to Dean Milner? Dean Milner makes the play. Great awareness by Clinton Dix. But yet again, look at the position that Milner has. There's nowhere for that football to go. They're lucky Milner didn't come down with the interception. He gets a hand on it, goes up in the air, and an outstanding play by Clinton Dix by being in position, bringing that interception down. There are a lot of different defensive backs out there besides Dean Milner. It's almost like they're intentionally, they saw press coverage man-to-man back to the boundary, and they said, aha, exactly what we want. Let's go after the All-American corner.
Jay McCarron and the Alabama offense with their first snap here of the second half. Eddie Lacy put up 96 yards, looking for 100 now, and he spins free, getting close to the 100-yard mark. Dan Fox with the stop for Notre Dame.
Zeke Mata up there close to the line of scrimmage. We mentioned, and you even heard Brian Kelly walking off the field with Heather Cox mentioning we didn't tackle. We did some things that were uncharacteristic of this football team in the first half. We'll see if Mata and Manti Te'o and company can do a better job of getting pressure and trying to be better tacklers here.
2nd and 7. Jackson's got Cooper. So Lacy, 100-yard night, and works that far side.
When Manti Te'o came in, we talked about how he's the heart and soul of this team, and you can see here's a missed tackle early on that Eddie Lacy touchdown, and even when he's had a chance to be able to get in position, he's running into big linemen like Chance Warmack. Now, let's face it, Manti Te'o and this Notre Dame defense, they haven't seen this kind of offensive line all year and these kind of running backs all year, and they failed miserably in the first half.
And if Lacy, who is a junior, decides to come out, his stock is going way up tonight in the National Football League. We'll take a break right now. Alabama with the football and the lead, and that's the big nose guard, Louis Nix, who's down on the field for the Irish. Well, here's the Coach's Trophy presented by Dr. Pepper, and it will be awarded tonight to the 2013 BCS National Champion. Alabama has collected 2 of the last 3. One was dropped and broken last spring. Well, guess what? They're closing in on a new one to take back to Tuscaloosa. They lead it 28-0, and look at Nix.
Louis Nix is down. He was able to walk off, but Nix is down, and Captain Lewis Moore is already out. That's 2 of the top defensive linemen on the Notre Dame front.
Play action. Rolling is McCarron. And it is complete to Norwood.
I think it was an effort play here towards the boundary. He just ends up falling awkwardly. And then looked like he might try to walk it off and then just kind of went down. 344-pound presence there in the middle of that Notre Dame defense. It's a big loss if he's unable to come back.
First down and 10 for Bama. Yeldon swings it wide to the left and comes across the 40-yard line before Te'o makes the stop.
A big aspect of this football game was going to be Notre Dame's front 7 holding up against the run. And in the first half alone, Alabama, when they were running the football with just that front 7 in the box, they averaged nearly 9 yards a carry with 7 in the box. So when you're averaging 9 yards a carry with 7 in the box, those safeties are going to get involved, and that's why McCarron's been able to pitch and catch with the wide receivers against these Notre Dame corners.
Need 4 yards here. Got it. Jones to the Irish 46-yard line. You know, I saw that picture of Te'o down in the middle of the Irish defense and Barrett Jones on the other side. Both of these fellows attended a whole lot of banquets and picked up hardware during the month of December. They became good friends. Jones was on crutches for a while, and Teo would carry his suitcase down, and Teo invited him to come to Hawaii and visit the family at the end of this season. So Teo and Jones best of friends, and Jones is getting the best of him here tonight.
No doubt about it.
First down and 10. Here's Yeldon behind the left side to the 40-yard line. Farley. And it is amazing when you take a look at the awards that Manti Teo picked up. And he was the Heisman Trophy runner-up to boot. So he's one of the most decorated college football players ever. And yet he'd probably trade all that hardware for a 7-7 score right now.
Yeah,
wouldn't you think?
Oh, absolutely. You picked up 7 individual awards. He went to New York City for the Heisman Trophy ceremony. And tonight, right now, Notre Dame's down big. You're right. He would love to be more competitive in this game. And he, quite frankly, has not had a great game up to this point.
Second down and 4. Yeldon slipped and not going to make the first down. Well, the other side of the two belongs to Barrett Jones, and it too is one of the most remarkable stories in the history of college football. This is Barrett Jones's 3rd championship game. He's out of Germantown, Tennessee. In 2010, when they defeated Tennessee, he started at right guard. A year ago in New Orleans against LSU, he was the left tackle and won the outlet. This year, he's the center, and he won the Remington Award. You talk about a celebrated offensive line.
And you talk about being decorated. I talked to some Alabama people. You could make a pretty good argument that he's one of the most individual decorated players that's ever played for Alabama. That's saying something.
It's good to see that Nix is back, and Heather reports that the test on him was negative, able to play, and Lacey, the ball carrier that time. And Lewis Nix was right there.
Why we were showing all the different accomplishments for some of these players, you could see that Nix is able to get back out there and try to get involved, and not only that, he's able to make a play. So it's good to see he's back out on the field and keeps him short of the first down.
You look back the past few years whenever we've been around Alabama, it is unbelievable to me that they now have gone 6+ quarters in a BCS championship environment and have not given up a single point. Here's your 4th and 1, and Bama going for it with Lacey. He got it, slips through to the 33-yard line.
See Scott Cochran, the strength and conditioning coach, over there on 4th and 1. He's jumping up and down, trying to encourage the offensive linemen. You know, Alabama is one of these programs really prides themselves on when it comes down to those 3rd and 1s and 4th and 1s, whether it's the offense and the defense. And A.J. McCarron now, again, with this balanced attack, looking to continue to move the football deeper into Notre Dame territory.
Off that play-action move of his, sidestep left, come back right. Cooper's wide open. Touchdown, Alabama. 34 yards, the combination that beat Georgia for the SEC championship. Remember, this drive started at their own 3-yard line.
Boy, there's a confused defense right there. Running the football, throwing the football. The balance continues for Doug Nussmeier. Outstanding drive there. 10 plays, 97 yards. And they continue to just embarrass this Notre Dame defense.
So here is Jeremy Shelley. Tacks on another one. A.J. McCarron. He is 15 of 21 tonight. 215 yards and 3 touchdowns. Right back to the Discover BCS National Championship.
The Discover BCS National Championship is brought to you by Dr. Pepper and Diet Dr. Pepper. Always one of a kind. Toyota Care, caring for you and your car. Taco Bell, sometimes you gotta live Mas. And The Last Stand, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger and Johnny Knoxville. In theaters January 18th.
Happiness around for Alabama fans throughout the state of Alabama and elsewhere. And folks, I can only say that right now it is high tide in Miami. The route is on. It is 35-0 with 7.5 minutes, 406 yards of offense for the defending national champions. And here comes Atkinson looking to make something happen, and he won't even get back to the 20-yard line.
Go back to this touchdown. Here's Norwood right here, who's actually man-to-man coverage. Kelly Johnson, the tight end, man-to-man coverage. And on the backside is Amari Cooper, who's going to drag across. Watch number 6 here, Kavari Russell. He actually gets lost here as these two receivers clear, and Cooper comes around. Russell, I think, is confused in coverage. Not only that, he runs into Zeke Mata, but that is a slow developing play that requires a lot of time. And of course, McCarron once again had all day to throw the football.
Golson fires complete to the sideline, and a first down to Daniels. Tavares Daniels' father played about 15 years in the National Football League, now in the front office of the Washington Redskins. This is a young man who is a redshirt freshman from Vernon Hills, Illinois, and he could become a mighty effective wide receiver for the Irish in the years ahead. Regardless of what's happening here tonight, the future does appear much brighter in South Bend. I know this one hurts right now, but there's another fine recruiting class coming in. Golson's a youngster, snapping off another completion to Eifert. Eifert will be playing Sunday football. He's one of the better tight ends we've seen.
Here's the view from our DirecTV ultimate picture cam of Golson trying to get the ball out to Tyler Eifert. What I like about Eifert here is he doesn't give up on the play and just go out of bounds, even though Quentin Dix is all over him. He bounces it back to the inside, keeps the play alive.
Riddick motions. Golson in trouble, fires it out of bounds. As you watch this defense, Irving, you're left wondering just how good is Johnny Manziel and Texas A&M. They went into Tuscaloosa and stunned this defense in the first quarter, jumped all over them.
Well, they not only jumped all over them, they had a plan and an approach where they attacked Alabama. Despite going into Tuscaloosa and taking on Nick Saban, they were the aggressor early in that game, and they had success early in that game to get themselves to believe. Notre Dame obviously down 14 here tonight in the first quarter.
Golson gives it back on a counter. Nothing but right all over him. Mosley finally wrestles Wood down. This fooled no one.
That night that Johnny Manziel played against this defense, one of the things that Kirby Smart said he regretted is a lot of times they only rushed 4. And when you give an athletic guy like Manziel who can throw at time, he said, so tonight going up against another athletic quarterback, we want to try to rush 5. We want to do the best that we can to try to contain this guy and flush him from the pocket and not allow him to get into rhythm and have him prove to us that he can make plays from the pocket. We don't want to allow him to use his feet. And obviously, up to this point, it's worked pretty effectively.
0 of 5 on third down and not favored on 3rd and 16. Moving right, firing downfield, and he's got Jones. How about that? 3rd and 16, and Golson makes it happen with his feet.
Well, let's see if he's in bounds when he makes his catch. Ooh. It's like maybe if they're going to call that in, it had to be with his right toe dragging it. I don't think his left foot was down when he secured the ball.
It's a 31-yard gain. Golson incomplete, and it'll be 2nd down and 10. Eifert was the target.
And they threw a flag there in the backfield, back where Golson is.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense number 21. Contact to the helmet, a 15-yard penalty with an automatic first down.
And that, I believe, is only the 2nd penalty here today against Alabama. And it might be 24. Yeah. It might be Smith who did it.
Yeah, he led with his helmet, the true freshman from Atlanta, Georgia.
Notre Dame in the red zone.
Alabama fans coming alive here because they want that shutout streak to continue.
LSU shutout last year. Notre Dame, with 5 minutes left in the third quarter, hasn't scored. Golson's back, firing high for Eifert and out of the back of the end zone, so it'll be 2nd down and 10.
And again, they're going back into the boundary towards D. Milner. You're not getting a whole lot of separation. Look at Milner back there. You got to give Eifert, you got to understand, he's 6'6". We know that he can go up and make plays on the ball, but he's not getting any kind of separation from the more athletic D. Milner. And Milner's body is always in position to be able to keep Eifert away from where the football is being thrown.
Golson fires back, complete to Jones, and inside the 5-yard line, juggling it, however, and Blue right there, so it will be check the feet here, Herbie.
Jones again with another great catch on the sidelines. Looks like his right foot got down. Boy, that is a great effort. Jones with 2 big catches here to move this ball well into Alabama territory.
So that's 14 more yards for Golson. Goal line defense dashes on the field for Bama. Riddick is next to Golson. Irish looking to crack through against this defense. Riddick stopped short of it. 2nd down and goal coming up now. These fellows on the defense want this shutout to continue too.
And it's so tough to run into the interior of this Alabama defense, especially down in the goal line. There's much better chance with an athletic quarterback of trying to get the ball to the outside, give him an option to use his feet, or pitch it out to the back and give him a chance to get to the corner.
Wood and Riddick are both there with Golson.
There you go.
Golson's going to keep it on an option look and take it in the house. Touchdown, Notre Dame.
Give him a chance to get to the edge there, and he has the option here to pitch it or to keep it himself. The defense kind of way to the outside, and he cuts underneath to Dixon and is able to get into the end zone. You got to utilize his athletic ability, and he's got plenty of it.
And Zach Martin, the left tackle, did a great job on that play. Remember what set this up, though. It was a 3rd and 16, and he hit Jones on that far side after scrambling. That's the key play in the drive. We'll be right back to the Discover BCS National Championship. Well, this is a wonderful partnership between the Orange Bowl Committee and the city of Fort Lauderdale, along with Discover and the Miami Dolphins. They built this $3 million football field, and the youngsters can play there along with an 8-lane track for track and field events. They get covered seating, new scoreboard. It's wonderful. $3 million donated for that. And in addition, the Orange Bowl Committee will be making a donation of $1 for each person in attendance at tonight's game towards the Sandy Hook School Memorial Scholarship Fund. In total, I'm told the contribution now will be $80,120. So thank you very much on behalf of the wonderful folks in Newtown who suffered through that horror. So here we go now with Notre Dame on the scoreboard. Christian Jones is going to come out on that far side. Not a good idea. 13-yard line, he's down. So A.J. McCarron and the Bama offense will have a 1st and 10 when you come back. Ready to go back to work. 406 yards of offense for Alabama here tonight. 35 points. But the Irish just got the first touchdown. 6+ quarters against this defense in the championship game. Yeldon. 6 more yards behind the right side. Steen and DJ Fluker.
It's a downhill running football team, and if you're going to give them creases, you're just not going to do very well. And what's great that Nick Saban has kind of created an identity at Alabama is that tandem back. Mark Ingram and Trent Richardson and Eddie Lacy. Now Eddie Lacy and TJ Yeldon keeps them fresh and allows them both to run hard for 4 quarters.
Stepping out to the right for the first down is Yeldon and breaks free on the sideline. There's a penalty flag down.
Holding. Offense number 83. A 10-yard penalty will be enforced from the spot of the foul. Second down.
That's Kevin Norwood, the wide receiver, who was guilty.
You know, you can see this this hole, but look at the angle here by Zeke Mata. We've seen this the whole game. It's one thing to have poor tackling. It's another thing to take such poor angles in trying to bring down. I haven't seen this kind of speed all year, and they're underestimating guys like Yeldon and Lacy when it comes to coming up and run support. They're taking really poor angles.
2nd and 9, draw play. Yeldon powers his way for the first down.
Bama has had a lot of success running between the tackles tonight with both Yeldon and Lacy. You see not a whole lot off to the right, but some big plays up the middle. 142 yards between the tackles. People wondered, could Alabama's offensive line and these backs run against this front 7? Pretty definitive, yes.
212 rushing yards and 215 passing yards for a very balanced Crimson Tide attack. Yeldon on a cutback, another blown tackle, and he crosses the 30-yard line with 2 minutes remaining in the third. Shembo and Fox finally get Yeldon down, and here comes Lacy. Lacy with a 100-yard night, 120 on the game.
Pretty nice. You take out Yeldon, you bring in Eddie Lacy, or vice versa. You don't miss a whole lot. They complement one another very well.
Remember, Jalston Fowler was injured earlier this year. He's another quality back. Kenyon Drake, a very good-looking sophomore from Fort Walton Beach, Florida. He probably is number 3 here tonight if they ever get there. 2nd down, and here comes Lacy on that little delay. He crosses the 35 for a first down. Russell with the stop for the Irish. Well, the Notre Dame defense, Herbie's had to be on the field for almost 30 minutes here tonight, and you can see that they're really getting worn down.
It's going to be tough in the 4th quarter, not just dealing with being out there so much, but you're looking at quite a deficit, and that's when the mental fatigue starts to set in as much as the physical fatigue.
Wide receivers off to McCarron's left. McCarron 15 of 21. Reaches to Lacy. Lacy steps away from the defender, crosses the 40-yard line. This will be 2nd down. To it with the stop for Notre Dame.
And Teo just shot his gap here, taking a chance, anticipating the run. He gets through, and then you can see the left tackle, Quanjo, got just enough of him there to keep him from getting back there to Eddie Lacy.
Second down and 7 for the Tide. McCarron comes toward the near side and puts it into Cooper's hands for a completion.
What a throw.
Just across midfield.
Oh, man. I mean, when you're feeling it, you're feeling it.
Isn't that the truth?
I mean, that is just, if you can make that throw, there isn't a throw tonight that A.J. McCarron can't make. On the run, throws it. I thought he was close to throwing it out of bounds, and somehow Cooper comes down with that. Great job. That's a true freshman, by the way, holding on to that football for that catch.
So we've come to the end of the 3rd quarter. Alabama 35, Notre Dame 7.
Visit WatchESPN.com or download the Watch ESPN app to watch ESPN live anytime, anywhere. Brought to you by Vizio.
Fourth quarter, BCS Championship. Alabama, you can now use the word dynasty. 15 minutes away from their third championship in 4 years. And they didn't win it at the voting booth. They won it on the field. Texas, LSU, and now Notre Dame. 35-7 we begin. Quarter number 4. Lacey slips and he's down. Herbie, let's take a look at tonight's good hands play, brought to you by Allstate.
Well, a lot of times you think of receivers when you think of good hands, but tonight Eddie Lacy has been using his hands in a variety of ways, whether it's using his hands to knock away would-be tacklers or being able to hold on to that football as defenders are trying to get their hands on the football themselves. He's just done a really good job of securing it, taking care of the ball, and showing he's got not only good feet and great balance, but also the good hands to be able to have a great night tonight.
Second down and 14. Off the play action, drops it down to Kelly Johnson. First time he's handled the football here tonight. Well, these coaches have incentives, and when they work for public institutions like Alabama, you can find them out. And there is Nick Saban, his base salary. BCS National Championship appearance, $110,000. Win the title tonight, $200,000. That's a pretty good payday.
NFL. He's working his way to $6 million.
No
NFL.
way he's going to
Plus,
the
he's
NFL.
happy.
But you know,
his wife's happy.
They might want to call Kirby Smart as defensive coordinator. I'm talking about the Cleveland Browns. Find out if he's interested. Here's your third down and 9. McCarron fires right at the mark. Let's see if he gets the spot. That was Williams, the tight end, Michael Williams. Looks like they're going to give him the first down.
That's the first down. Ishaq Williams, who's really 260 pounds, number 11, right in the middle of your screen. He's not necessarily the most nimble defender in space, and Michael Williams easily just sits there in the soft spot of the zone, and an easy throw yet again for A.J. McCarron. What a surprise. 18 of 24 now.
13 minutes. First down and 10. Play action. McCarron going to go for the touchdown. Cooper incomplete in the end zone.
They used Kevin Norwood to clear out the defender, and it opened it up for a one-on-one opportunity, which Alabama always wants to be able to take advantage of. That's a great move by the freshman, Cooper. I'll tell you, you talk about a polished receiver for a true freshman. This guy has been sensational all year, and tonight they've been able to try to find him in some one-on-one chances. They just missed another home run there to the young man.
Terry Bridgewater, now at Louisville, was his high school quarterback at Northwestern High School. Miami thought Herbie, that they had both Cooper and Bridgewater. Can you imagine what that combination would be like down in Coral Gables? Now they flash it out to Shin. So we've talked and mentioned about the fact that Nick Saban's going no place, going to stay right there. But there have been some moves. Chip Kelly, he's not going to the NFL either. He's going back to Oregon. And Syracuse interested in Notre Dame defensive coordinator Bob Diaco.
Yeah, it's Chip Kelly making that announcement. And, you know, the last couple years he's had some opportunities. There's Bob Diaco, the defensive coordinator. We'll see if anything comes to play itself out after this game as far as Syracuse is concerned.
Third down and 4. Lacy bursts to the middle. Across the 20-yard line. Lacy closing in on $150 here tonight.
Well, I just love to watch Eddie Lacy when he's healthy. Watch him at the initial point of attack. Just patiently wait, and then a little jump cut, and then he's able to get up to the next level. Just this little cut right there. Gives the off-cure their blocks. Gives them a great, even a better blocking angle to be able to get to the linebackers. But just that little jump cut and the patience that he showed there opened that play up.
Now Yeldon with 89 yards checks in. He's an outstanding receiver, remember. McCarron fires in zone, touchdown, Bama. Amari Cooper.
They got him again, able to hit the zone here, right into the middle between the safeties. They couldn't get there. There's Farley sitting back in coverage. They split them. And when you split safeties like that, you've got to be able to throw the ball with a great deal of velocity. You can't hang it up in the air to give the safeties a chance to come over. He put that on a rope, and Cooper's able to come up with another touchdown.
Shelley for the extra point. Alabama this time goes 86 yards in 14 plays.
Can you just hear those SEC fans around the country right now?
You bet. Now, there are the big uglies tonight. Listen to the length of these drives, ladies and gentlemen. 82, 61, 80, 71, 97, 86. Oh, my. What a roadkill. 42-7 with 11:27 to go. Atkinson will take a knee, and I want to remind everybody about the Western Conference matchups. NBA Wednesday presented by State Farm at 8 p.m. Lakers take on the Spurs, and following that it'll be the Dallas Mavericks and the Los Angeles Clippers, all Wednesday on ESPN. Alabama putting up some NBA numbers in this game. 502 yards of offense. 264 passing, 238 running. And Amari Cooper, who caught that touchdown pass, has now bested Julio Jones' freshman numbers. He has 1,000 yards as a freshman. 58 receptions. That ties the great Julio, who's with Atlanta, and 11 touchdowns. The Falcons, of course, they'll be hosting the Seattle Seahawks in the NFL playoffs. And Sirianni blitz has got Golson in his sights, and Golson got it off in time, Herbie.
Vinny Sunseri times up his blitzes very, very well. In fact, that's really his specialty. When they put him in there at nickel, the offensive line doesn't make the adjustment because he came so late. And Golson just trying just as much as he can to buy enough time and actually put in a position there where Eifert could have made a play on the football.
Second down and 10 for Golson and the Irish. Far side, Daniels. Daniels turns it up for a first down.
This is usually where you're going to see Nick Saban coaching on the sideline as if he's down 42-7. Usually he shows his most energy and enthusiasm when his team has a lead like this. Always coaching against perfection and demanding the most from his team regardless of the score.
Golson throws it away, and Saban says, I was the only receiver in that area. Pressure was coming that time for Sunseri again as they come after him.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Brent.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, regardless of the score, you got to love the aggressive nature from Alabama. They're up 42-7. Instead of pulling back and, hey, let's just get out of Dodge here, they're still blitzing and being aggressive with Sunseri off the nickel. They're still throwing touchdown passes here. They're still competing, regardless of what the score is.
Second down and 10, and you can start to think who will be in the top 5 preseason next year, and will Alabama be number 1? We're thinking about it. Championship game is back in Pasadena next year. Golson on the move, fires to Jones. Jones slips a tackle, but he's short of the first down and out of bounds.
Let's take a look at the view from our DirecTV Ultimate Picture Cam once again. Trying to run for his life. This time he actually breaks contain and actually gets outside of the pocket. And by doing that, that's what gave him a chance to buy enough time to eventually find Jones. You know, Bama's going to be up at number 1. You're going to have Oregon's going to have a great team next year. It's going to be fun to try to see which team has the best chance next year.
Third down and 1. Golson fires complete to Eifert. Eifert slips a tackle, and he's to the 44-yard line. I saw a fellow tonight whose team is going to be in the top 5, Herbie. Kevin Sumlin, the Texas A&M coach. He did a fabulous job this year. He's got Johnny Manziel back. Still doesn't know about those 2 offensive tackles. He's going to lose a real good defensive end. They will play Alabama at College Station in Texas. They have a lot of home games, and I expect the Aggies to be ranked very high when next season starts with the Heisman Trophy winner bringing them back. Here's Golson. Wood flared, and Bama was ready for it. That play was jumped right away, and Blue makes a stop.
Johnny Manziel is going to become quite a story in the offseason and leading into next year after the year that he had and winning that Heisman as a freshman, and just has the kind of the wow factor about him and style of play that he has.
He's got the wow factor off the field.
That's what I hear.
He reminds me of a young Joe Namath. Well, it's 42-7. Alabama with the lead. We'll take a break. There's an injured player, Jesse Williams, down.
The Discover BCS National Championship is brought to you by the new Discover It Card. Finally, a credit card that's changing the game. Nissan. Tweet hashtag Nissan Heisman House for a chance to appear in next year's Heisman House. Gatorade. Follow the Everything to Prove journey on Gatorade's Facebook page. And Vizio, ranked highest in customer satisfaction with HD TVs by J.D. Power & Associates.
So we go around the country and the world for these shots of these fans, and we're so happy that they're enjoying the action. Obviously, if you're an Alabama fan, you're enjoying it a lot more. And there's the injured nose guard, and that youngster from Australia is going to play in the National Football League too. He's a load. Golson fires middle. Daniels having a big game. 20 down to the 15. Daniels is probably the best weapon that Notre Dame has had tonight. He's had a 100-yard night receiving, and he's caught a half dozen.
And they caught him in a blitz here, and they actually picked it up just enough to be able to give him a chance to make the play on this football. When they brought the blitz, there's nobody left in the middle. You can see the arm strength and how tight a throw Everett Golson makes when he has a chance to step into a throw and make it. And that time, good job up front, giving him enough time to be able to make that play.
3 receivers. Riddick. Not going very far that time, is it?
No, and when you can't run the football, it puts everything on the passing game and everything on the pass protection. And even when they haven't sacked Everett Golson, they've done enough to him where they've made him uncomfortable more often than not. It's just tough to be able to have a consistent opportunity to move the ball when you can't run the ball at all. It's just a non-factor with only 38 yards rushing tonight.
Golson's 19 of 33 throwing for 254 and 1 interception. He'd like to strike here with 8.5 minutes left. Forced. Wanted Jones to turn around, head back for the end zone, and got him. That was a little bit of a hand pattern as he told Jones to take off. And yes, there is a penalty flag down at the 12-yard line.
I don't know if they're going to say Jones pushed off there or if they're going to maybe look at that as far as the Alabama defender. He threw it right at Jones's feet.
Holding. Defense number 13. That penalty is declined. The result of the play is a first down.
That's Blue.
It's really, we've seen Jones do this tonight, Brent. A lot of times when he's making plays on the ball, it's where he's just improvising. And there it is right there as he went down. He's just improvising and reacting to Everett Golson running for his life. You know, instead of just kind of, sometimes receivers will look at their quarterback and hope that he eventually sees them. In his case, he's really working to try to get open to help his quarterback out.
First down and goal. Eifert is out to the right. There are 4 receivers as Riddick steps out. Riddick catches it for a Notre Dame touchdown. Well, Herbie, you wanted an onside kick, and one's coming, Patrick.
Honestly, I thought we would see Riddick in that position most of the night tonight. I thought they'd put him out there at the slot against a linebacker where he has a chance to win that battle and give his quarterback a chance. There's it's up to the left slot, a little inside move, and then it goes around a very talented linebacker in C.J. Mosley, but we've seen him more in the backfield running the football as opposed to being out there in the slot where we thought he might have a chance to do some damage.
Brenza tacks on the extra point. So Everett Golson's first touchdown pass of the night, and it goes to Theo Riddick. You're watching the 2013 Discover BCS National Championship. An aerial coverage of our grand scene tonight is brought to you by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you got to get DirecTV. So Notre Dame has scored with its last 2 possessions, and if they could just block out the first half, we'd have a 14-all football game right now, folks. But first half does count.
Yeah.
So here we go. Brenza's got the ball on the tee for the Irish. I find myself as the good hands team is on the field for Nick Saban. They certainly expect the onside kick here. Instead, Brenza will take it deep, and this will come out on the 25-yard line. Herbie, it's my fault. We were talking about teams we got to consider for the top 5 next year when all the preseason magazines come out that we take a look at it. I cannot overlook the Ohio State Buckeyes. We got Urban Meyer here tonight. They went undefeated this year.
Braxton Miller's back.
They could not go to a bowl game, could not play for a Big Ten championship. They could be up there next year. And I think the Irish will be in the top 10, even though they're getting drilled here tonight.
Yeah, without a doubt. I think Ohio State undefeated with the team that they have coming back. Alabama will probably start at number 1, which they should. Back-to-back national championships. And you know, a team like Teddy Bridgewater and Louisville, with their performance that they had in their Sugar Bowl, they'll probably start up close to the top 5 as well. Tonight, the thing that has just stood out is just how dominant Alabama has been. 5 years from now, we're going to look back not just at this era of Nick Saban. When we talk about the Alabama-Notre Dame game, we're going to remember how see how he works it on the sideline? He's more intense.
Look at him.
When he's up 42-14, if I'm an official on his sideline, I'm taking cover because that's when he brings it. But 238 on the ground, 264 through the air, over 500 yards of offense tonight for the Crimson Tide. Doug Nussmeier doing a great job calling plays tonight.
Yeldon is stopped. You know, the last time that somebody won 3 championships in 4 years, you have to go back to Tom Osborne and the Nebraska Cornhuskers. They won the 1995 Orange Bowl, 1996 Fiesta Bowl. What a performance by Tommy Frazier in that game. 1997, though, comes with an asterisk. They won the Orange Bowl. Remember now, Michigan was declared the Associated Press champion because they, too, went undefeated and won the Rose Bowl. So isn't it a little bit better, even though it's controversial and it hasn't solved every problem, isn't it better when we bring these 2 teams together? Wouldn't it have been fun to see Nebraska play Michigan that year?
Yes.
2nd down now. And timeout by McCarron. And he's upset with he's upset with Barrett Jones.
Wow.
Boy, that is highly unusual. I thought for a moment he might have been teed.
Just so you understand, they're upset because they're both making calls, and McCarron's trying to overrule Barrett Jones, and Barrett Jones is saying, you know, I'm making the call.
Before the timeout signal, delay a game.
So they're
offense, a 5-yard penalty.
They both do so much at the line of scrimmage when it comes to making the checks up there. Oh boy, see, there he goes.
Oh, now he's very upset now. Understandably, you know, the 2 kids you just saw are roommates. And there's something has really aggravated Saban about the official. And he's trying to get him off the field over there. He does now. 2nd down and 11. And here's the handoff to Yeldon.
He's trying to keep that intensity, keep that edge for four quarters. It's interesting to see McCarron and Barrett Jones, though. I mean, you're up comfortably. I know you're trying to make the right check at the line of scrimmage, but you don't see an offensive lineman very rarely throw his quarterback. But the other thing is the quarterback shouldn't show up his lineman by getting in his ear like that, embarrassing him.
Well, if you've got an intense coach on the sideline, it's 42-14. The players just take after it.
That's right.
He sets the tone. 3rd down and 7. Yeldon tonight with 97 yards. McCarron, and it's dropped by Jones. They couldn't hook up. Incomplete.
Let's keep an eye on the two roommates here as they go over to talk this out. Assuming they do talk it out. The big fellas usually go to their own spot on the bench. I want to see if McCarron takes the leadership role and goes over and talks to him.
He's barking.
He's still kind of giving it to him.
He's just barking as he went off. Stay tuned, folks. 6:04. Neal back deep, fields it at the 30-yard line. And he's down at the 37-yard line. Barrett Jones, the center. A.J. McCarron, the quarterback. A lover's quarrel. Just kidding, you guys. You're watching the 2013 Discover BCS National Championship. Notre Dame with the football. They've scored the last 2 times they've had it. Sierra Wood will be your running back. They'll start on their own 37-yard line. Coming. Golson not going to slip it. Sacked at the 25-yard line. Tom Rinaldi, what in the world is going on? You're up 42-14 and you're pushing each other?
Well, it's maybe more public than usual, Brent, but it's not necessarily all that unusual. It doesn't get to the point of being physical, but Barrett Jones and A.J. McCarron, very, very close, a brotherly relationship. They room together with each other on the road. But talking to A.J. during bowl prep, he said that sometimes he will get into it with Barrett because he feels as though Barrett wants to sometimes change the call, knows more about the offense than he does. So sometimes it's a clash of wills, obviously spilled over to another level right now in the 4th quarter, but not necessarily that unusual given the 2 wills involved.
So here is Riddick out to the 30-yard line. And so this is what transpired between roommates. You can see Barrett with the call and McCarron calling timeout. You're not supposed to change it. I didn't want to change. What are you doing? Get out of here.
You can tell it clearly had everything to do with who was going to make the right call, you know. And he was trying to overrule Barrett. Barrett's trying to overrule him, and you're up 42-14.
3rd and 17 now. He's converted a 3rd and 16, but now a 3rd and 17. 4th down with 4.5 minutes to go. And Coach Kelly's going to send the punting team out.
You know, you showed the highlights there of Tom Osborne in Nebraska, and once Alabama wins this, it's 3 of 4, and you start to try to compare that to other dynasties that we've had in college football. In my lifetime, because I still think we're just in the middle of it. I don't think this is the end of a run for Alabama. I think we're in the middle of it. I really believe that this is, in my lifetime, the best dynasty that I've ever seen in college football.
All right, Barrett, that's it. Sorry about that, my good friend.
Yeah, that's good. I'm glad McCarron came down to him.
You know what A.J. said when he turned away? Don't do it again.
Yeah, right. Heat of the battle. Things happen.
What a performance by this offensive line tonight. Quanjo, Warmack, Barrett, Jones, Steen, and DJ Fluker. What a masterful job that they have done here tonight. Averaging well over 300 pounds in that offensive line. We have Lacey with 140 yards, Yeldon with 97 yards. And here comes Yeldon. He's got 100 now. So 2 backs with 100 yards. And how about the quarterback? He's only 20 of 28, Herbie. Look at those numbers the last 2 years.
That's the way you get it done. Last year, people had questions of whether or not he could get it done in the championship. He clearly delivered tonight an even better performance, not just in numbers, but just engineering this offense, the balanced attack. He and Doug Nussmeier really on the same page with how they wanted to try to go after this Notre Dame defense. Great execution all night. Second time, by the way, at a championship game that Bama's had 2 backs go over 100 yards. They did the same thing to Texas back in the 09 title game.
And one of them, Lacey, is the offensive MVP tonight. McCarron was last year against LSU. But Lacey with 140 yards tonight and 1 touchdown. And there is their performance here tonight, the 200-yarders. And Eddie Lacey is the offensive MVP as Alabama. The starters are being taken out.
Whole offensive line. There's Barrett Jones off the field for the last time as a play for the Alabama Crimson Tide.
Blake Sims comes in at the quarterback, and Kenyon Drake, whom I mentioned. And there's another hug between quarterback and center. And this is Kenyon Drake. And the Irish better wrap this young man up. Teo makes the stop here. Buddies again. Second down and 5. Well, it all begins with one man when you talk about this dynasty. And that is Nick Saban right there. He won a BCS championship while he was head coach at LSU. Did not have a good experience with the Miami Dolphins here for a couple of years. Went back to Alabama, and this will be his 3rd BCS championship in 4 years. And who knows how many more they're going to be able to win with this powerhouse. These are the teams to win 3 national titles in 4 years. The great Frank Leahy coming out of the war with Notre Dame. Tom Osborne in the 90s we've talked about. And now Nick Saban. And yes, now you can start to mention Bear Bryant and Nick Saban in the same sentence. That's how effective Saban has been since going to Alabama. One of the great recruiters and one of the great evaluators of talent that I've been around. This is a guy who can go watch a high school football game and come back with somebody who wasn't even there to look at, but he'll see him during a game. They had to change the recruiting rules because of Nick Saban and all the activity he had in the spring. And there's the Bear. He's got 6.
How many years did it take him to get to 6? 25, 20?
In the 20s.
20. Nick Saban's gotten 4 total in 8 college coaching years, and 3 of the last 4 in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah, you know, Herbie, I find myself more impressed with what Alabama accomplished tonight than what Notre Dame didn't do, to be perfectly honest. I really think this is an Alabama story. I think this is remarkable, the way they have played, and you and I have covered all 3 of these championships. And last year, I really thought it would be difficult, losing 5 guys in the first 35 picks to the NFL, and it wasn't.
No.
They picked right up where they left off with a new batch of players.
And what I think is exciting if you're an Alabama fan is they're in the middle of this dynasty. It's not, we're not closing the book. At this team, you can make an argument, even if Eddie Lacy were to leave and some of the others, there's enough of a young nucleus. A.J. McCarron's coming back. C.J. Mosley's already announced he's coming back. This is going to be another team next year that Nick Saban's going to have that's going to compete for another national championship.
Now, you know what he doesn't like? Does not like the Gatorade bath. He knows he's got to get up to get the crystal football. In fact, we saw him put a jacket on a few years ago in Pasadena to cover up the soaked Alabama golf shirt.
Barrett Jones is up to something.
There's no question. He might drop it on the quarterback's head.
Yeah. Last year, I think Nick Saban took it off the forehead. When the water, the Gatorade shower got a little physical for him.
Final minute coming down, and
there's Barrett. He's hiding.
Pretty hard for Barrett Jones to hide.
Everybody's trying to hide him.
Saban knows he's coming.
Oh, you got DJ Fluker in the front. That'll hide Barrett.
Yeah, that's the total eclipse.
Here we go.
Yo, baby.
Look at his face.
Oh, nice. Thanks a lot, guys. There they are. The process continues. And Saban with his 3rd national championship at Alabama in 4 years.
He's all kidding aside. He's still trying to coach that last play.
There's no question. That's it. Stay tuned for the 4th BCS postgame show immediately following tonight's game. Let's check in now with Tom Rinaldi with the coach.
Brent, thank you very much. Before this game, I asked, when are you satisfied? You said never. How about now?
Well, I'm satisfied with this team because of what they were able to accomplish. I'm really proud of this team, man. This team did a great job from the word go. 2 days after we beat LSU last year in the championship game, they started working, and they never were entitled. And I'm proud of what they were able to accomplish this year. But 2 days from now, we got to start on next year.
There's a lot of words that could be used to describe this performance from outsiders. What word would you describe?
Well, you know, our offense did a great job in the game. I mean, they controlled the whole tempo of the game by the way we moved the ball. I think they did an exceptional job. We didn't finish the game very well on defense, but we played well early. So I'm really, really happy with the team win that we have. I'm happy for all of our fans up here, all the people who have supported us. The university community's done a great job of helping us. We've got a lot of great players, and they've done a great job.
You just referred to it. When we spoke, you also said you only allow yourself to enjoy a national championship for 48 hours. You then lowered the number to 2. 3 in 4 years. How long for this one?
Well, 2 days we're going to start on next year. We got a 24-hour rule around here. We enjoy everything.
Seriously?
Wow, that's right. I'm proud of these guys, man. I'm happy for them. As a coach, I want to win the game for them. I want them to be able to win the game and say their legacy as a team, 10, 20 years from now, they can say they won the national championship.
Congratulations, Nick. Enjoy it if you can.
Well, thank you. I will.
Indeed. Now let's check in with Heather.
Brett, thanks so much. Brett, thanks so much. AJ, we just heard your coach talking about it all week long. The word dynasty has been banned, but now that you've won 3 championships in 4 years, how would you describe this dominance?
I don't know. I mean, I guess, you know, everybody's got their own opinion. You can label it as what you want, but I just know this team's worked hard to, you know, get to the point where we're at. It was a total team effort, and I couldn't be more proud of my guys. I mean, the hard work we put in all year long. I mean, nobody ever sees, you know, behind-the-scenes type stuff, and how much time we spent up at that complex, especially, you know, playing for Coach Saban. But it really paid off, and this is what we do it for.
As the first quarterback to win back-to-back national championships in the BCS era, how does it feel to be a part of Alabama history?
That's pretty special. Gives me chills thinking about it. But I owe all, you know, all the thanks to my teammates. They made all this possible. Coaching staff, I mean, they did an excellent job game plan-wise, breaking down Notre Dame's defense, you know, in the 30-something days or however long we had off, and really had a great game plan for us coming into tonight. And my teammates did a great job of executing each one.
AJ, on Thursday, the Players Council got together to have a team meeting, disappointed in the lack of focus. What role do you think that meeting had eventually in the performance you guys had tonight?
I think it was a huge, you know, a huge part of us refocusing as a team because I felt like, you know, we kind of got away because Miami can be, you know, a very distraction type place, and there's so many things to do down here, but we had to refocus. We had to, you know, remind the younger guys, hey, we down here to have fun, or we down here to win a national championship, and then we'll have fun after. And the team refocused and, you know, got back on the plan.
All right, now you can go celebrate and enjoy. AJ, thanks so much. Congratulations.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Why was it so easy? I lost our audio.
Alongside Barrett Jones. Barrett, I got to begin with a bold move, maybe the boldest in your 5 years, dumping the Gatorade on your coach. What was that like?
Well, you know, we don't want to hit him with Gatorade because that happened. You know, he got kind of mad or whatever, but, you know, it wasn't a special moment. But, you know, I'm not really an emotional guy, but it was an emotional moment just to everything we've been able to accomplish together these last 5 years, and it was one of the first genuine bear hugs I've really gotten from him.
We saw you and AJ get into it here late fourth quarter, a huge lead. For those who don't know the relationship between the two of you, what was going on?
Well, we're both perfectionists, and he's an emotional guy, and we had a snap count difference, and I was right, but whatever, it doesn't matter. And we love each other and gave each other a big hug. That's just how we are if you don't know us.
Barrett, 3 national championships, playing at 3 different positions. How do you characterize this career now that it's over?
Well, I don't know, man. It just happened. So, I'm just very honored. I think just to put it out all on me as just really selling my teammates short. I've obviously played on some amazing teams, great coaches. I think Alabama, it's hard to say we're not the best program in the country right now. We kind of have a little dynasty going, and it's been fun to be a part of that.
Finally, there was a huge focus on your left foot, how it would hold up through this game. You told me afterwards, you told me what really was wrong with it.
You mean you guys didn't buy the foot sprain thing? No, I have some torn ligaments and I have a Liz Frank injury. I'm going to have to go get it fixed probably tomorrow. So, yeah, it was painful, but there's no way I was going to not be playing this game, for sure.
Congratulations, 3 titles in 4 years, Barrett. Let's go to Brent.
So A.J. McCarron, the winning quarterback, goes over where his mother is right there. His girlfriend is, as you look at it, to her left, hugging father, the family, there's mom. Back-to-back national championships, the first quarterback to do it. And there is Miss Alabama with the victory kiss. And for Coach Saban, the 2013 Gatorade bath. He'll enjoy that bath, he said, for 2 days. Then it's Target, Pasadena. And a 3rd consecutive and 4th in 5 years. We'll be right back for the Ford BCS postgame show and the presentation of the Coaches Trophy presented by Dr. Pepper right after this.
This postgame report is presented by the new 2013 Ford F-150 with EcoBoost. Welcome to the Ford BCS postgame show.
Well, a reminder to tune into SportsCenter right after the game on ESPN with Chris Fowler and the gang. They'll have full postgame coverage and more. Time to present the Crystal Trophy. Let's send you down now to John Saunders. John.
Brent, thank you very much. You can hear the fans cheering in the background, ready for this presentation once again. First, let's take time to congratulate the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame on a tremendous season. And also like to thank Discover, who was just a tremendous sponsor for this BCS championship. And now Bill Hancock joins me, the executive director of the BCS, to present the Coaches Trophy presented by Dr. Pepper, the coach Nick Saban.
Thank you, John. First, on behalf of the conferences who manage the BCS, I want to congratulate both of these teams for a great effort tonight and an outstanding regular season. And now it's my pleasure, representing the American Football Coaches Association, to present the Coaches Trophy presented by Dr. Pepper to Coach Nick Saban and the Alabama Crimson Tide.
Coach Saban, you lift the trophy again for the 3rd time in the last 4 years. And each time you've done it before, you wanted to take a moment to say thank you to the people who are cheering for you right now.
Well, you know, we have a great organization at the University of Alabama. Starts with our president, our chancellor, Mal Moore, our athletic director, all of our fans who have been very, very supportive. And these players here have done a fantastic job in terms of their commitment, their work ethic, the sacrifices that they've made, not only on the field and how they've represented the university, but we're really proud of the way they represent us off the field as well.
Dynasty is a word that gets thrown around a lot in the world of sports, but when you win 3 out of 4, I think it's safe to use that word. Did you expect that you could build this dynasty at Alabama?
Well, I think it's because of a lot of people that were able to do it. We have a tremendous amount of positive energy and enthusiasm with the supporters that we have. We've had a lot of great football players who have worked really hard, and we have a great coaching staff who has done a great job of developing our players. So because we have a great team, we've been able to have a significant amount of success.
You know, you would not let this team use that R word, the repeat. We at least let them use it for the rest of tonight?
Well, they repeat it, so they can talk about it however they want now. But, you know, it's a very, very difficult thing to do. And I think these guys should be commended because they were able to stay focused and overcome a lot of adversity and had a lot of resiliency to maintain the standard of excellence that they had to with the kind of teams that we had to play in the Southeastern Conference and a very fine Notre Dame team tonight. So I'm really proud that they kept the right mental disposition about what they needed to do to be successful in this season.
A lot of people watch your team and think they know a lot about it. What tell the folks watching right now that they don't know about Alabama football?
Well, I just tell you that these guys have great character. They have a tremendous work ethic. The mental and physical toughness that they've demonstrated in the way they play, I think is something special, and I think it's a key to our success.
Coach, congratulations again. 3rd in 4 years. Hang on to that one tight. It's time now to bring in the offensive MVP, Eddie Lacy. Come on in, big fella. I talked to Coach Saban before we handed out the trophy. He said he wasn't sure you'd be able to run the football on Notre Dame that easily. Were you surprised how easily you were able to carry the ball?
I mean, I was surprised, but the offensive line came out and they got great push and opened up big holes, and I was able to be successful running the ball.
Talk about what it means to be part of this program with that big grin on your face. You know what it's like to walk off with this championship trophy.
I mean, it's a good feeling. I mean, it's a great organization, man. The players, we come together as a family. You know, we with each other 24/7, and, you know, we just came out and did it.
All right, congratulations. Oh, I won't shake your hand. You don't want to drop the ball. C.J. Mosley, defensive player of the game. 8 tackles, 5 solo, 1 for loss. This defense just instilled its will right from the very first kick of this game.
That's just Alabama football. We pride ourselves on stopping the run, on 3rd down, getting off the field, and as collective bargaining, the team did perfect. We did well.
And you go back to last year and don't give up a point to LSU, and then the team comes this year and almost pitches a shutout game, give up a couple of touchdowns, but just the same, how much pride do you take in your defense each time you take that field?
We take great pride. We have team goals every time on defense, and we do our best every week, week in, week out, to complete those goals. So at the end of the day, we did what we have to do to get the win.
All right, congratulations to you. Congratulations to all of the fans of the Crimson Tide on yet another national championship, their 3rd in 4 years. Brent, back to you.
Thank you, John. And right now, let's go down to Heather Cox with Notre Dame coach Brian Kelly. Heather?
Coach, you just spent a lot of time in the locker room with your team. What were you able to tell them?
Well, first of all, we wanted to thank our seniors for what they've done in bringing this football program back, you know, to the top echelon. And now we saw what everybody else now has to do. Now that they have helped this program develop to where it is now, we've got one more step. And we saw that tonight, that we're not there yet. Alabama showed us that in the way they played the game. So it's up to everybody else that's coming back to take the next step. They've left us in great shape, and now we've got to take that next step.
Coach, I know that the loss is fresh and the pain is fresh, but in a few days when you're able to really step back and gain some perspective, what will you take away from tonight?
Well, certainly the things that I just talked about, that we've closed the gap from where we were when I took this program over. Made great strides to put us in a position to go undefeated this year and rank #1 in the country. But we've got one more step left. And so when I step back from it, I'll know that we've got a lot of work left to do to get back here, because that's the goal, is to get back here and win a national championship.
Was there a certain turning point tonight where you thought to yourself, this is definitely not going the way that we hoped it would?
Yeah, when we tackling, obviously, both of those backs are outstanding backs, but, we had plenty of opportunities. We had guys in position to make plays, and we couldn't make the plays. And a lot of that has to do with Alabama, and they should get all the credit for it.
Coach, thanks so much for joining us, and congrats on an impressive season.
Thank you.
To the strains of Sweet Home Alabama. The tide rolls, and not only have they won 3 and 4, but how about the state of Alabama? In between, Auburn captured 1. And now the dominance of the SEC. There you can see Urban Meyer and Tim Tebow capturing a couple. Les Miles at LSU. And now dominance by Alabama, 3 of 4. And Cam Newton with that championship in 2010. So there's the center. And his quarterback had quite a night. 20 of 28 for 264 yards and 4 touchdowns. And I'm left thinking that the only time he was hit tonight was by his center. But it looks like they've kissed and made up. So, Herbie, your thoughts now as we wrap this season up, my friend?
All I can say is, for me, nothing but respect and admiration for watching Alabama win these championships. And the thing that I think people really need to embrace is how challenging it is for the coaches in college football today to be able to maintain this kind of effort and this kind of enthusiasm from a football program once they've already climbed the mountain once back in '09. For them to continue to get to this game and play the way they do is just a testament to Nick Saban, his program, and the way he operates.
Yeah, I can't wait for next year to see Chip Kelly returning to Oregon, what he can do, and how about the job Stanford did this year under David Shaw, winning the Rose Bowl. Then there's Ohio State. They'll be eligible to compete for a Big Ten title next year. Alabama, Herbie thinks they're going to be #1. I wouldn't disagree with that. The Tide is celebrating right now, and well, they should. Their 3rd BCS championship in 4 years. They dominated Notre Dame in the first half, led 28-0 at the half, then traded touchdowns with them in the second half and closed it out 42-14. Nick Saban said he'd allow himself 2 days, and then he'd get ready for Pasadena. Congratulations to Alabama, champions of the college football world. A remarkable season.
We're here now. All that.
They are one of the biggest underdogs in the history of a BCS championship.
Yeah, you can throw your hands up, you can beat the clock, you can move a mountain, you can break rocks, you could be a master, don't wait for luck, dedicate yourself and you will find yourself standing in the Hall of Fame. And the world's gonna know your name.
A.J. McCarron.
Amazing what a year will do to your confidence in a national championship.
When it comes to history, no one stands taller than the Irish unless you're the Crimson Tide. We'll see you next year in Pasadena for the 2014 Vizio BCS National Championship. So long, everybody.